With so many meal kit services out there, it's hard to find the right one for you. Here's what sets Home Chef apart. Home Chef offers delicious meals anyone can cook. They'll recommend meals based on dietary preferences such as calorie conscious or vegetarian. They even offer microwave and oven-ready options that save you time and effort in the kitchen. Your box arrives weekly with recipe cards and perfectly portioned ingredients. For a limited time only, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off your first month. That's a value of 10 free meals at homechef.com/art19.
It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast with your friend Mike. It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast that you like, 'cause it's free. Here he comes now. He's gonna sit down. It's gonna start.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. And look, it's only been a couple of seconds, but I can't stop myself. God damn, do I sound good. How good does my voice sound today, right? I've waited the proper amount of time to start this broadcast. That's all I'm going to tell you guys, because it's the golden hour for this throat. And I am pouring silk into all of your goddamn ears. Not just one of your ears. Don't pretend that you're listening to me with one earbud in, one earbud out, because you can't be distracted by fucking society. You want to go ahead and concentrate on me and everything that I've got to say. And especially this voice that, holy Christ, listen to it. You know what? It's not even like I'm pouring silk into your ear. It's like I'm taking a silk rag, like a silk scarf, and I'm stuffing it in one ear hole and I'm pulling it out the other and giving your brain a silk swab. What am I doing there? Just fucking like you ever see those guys do that with the shoes when they're shining shoes? Like lip, bip, 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 bip. That's what I'm doing right now to your goddamn brain with this hot, silky voice. Or let's go this route. Perhaps it's, maybe you're not a silk person. Do you like a gabardine? Maybe it's a gabardine. Maybe it's a Pima cotton. I don't know. I'm a silk man myself, especially when it comes to my voice. I don't want to have a Pima cotton voice. No, I just sound like a dick. But if I've got a silk voice, then you're just like, holy shit, look at Silky motherfucker walking up the goddamn street. What's up, Silky Mike? That's what my friends call me, Silky Mike. I don't have any friends. But man, I sound good. This is the golden hour for this throat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie to you. I have arrived at it. We are here together. We have all, we're coming together right now over me, and I appreciate that because of this voice. Listen to it. I get look. All right, there's people out there. I can't lie to you, and I'm sure you're not going to lie to me. I'm betting that my voice is making some of you wet. Is that happening? Who out there is wet right now? And even the men. You know what? You're goddamn right. Even some of the men are fucking wet from this goddamn voice. Show of hands. Who's wet? Well, show of hand, because your other hand is clearly busy taking care of business as you listen to this goddamn voice, as you lay back and think to yourself all of the things that I could do for you by talking to you. Nothing else. That's it. I would just whisper into your ear while you took care of business. That's fine. You can just like lay on your stomach and I'll spank you. Maybe while I whisper in your ear. How does that sound? Is that what you want? All right, this took a turn. I still sound good. Even though I've now gone a little too far and pushed it, especially in this time of Jesus. This is his birthday, and I shouldn't fuck around and all that stuff. I should go ahead and pull the reins back on this runaway sexy stagecoach, this runaway sexy silky stagecoach that we're calling my voice these days. I should go ahead and pull it off to the side. But you say, nay, as if you were a runaway horse going, no, Mike, turn it loose. Let's fucking rampage up the goddamn dirt trail and have you whisper in our fucking ears while you spank our asses and pull the reins. Let's do it, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. What's happening, man? It is December. Still December, late December, no, mid-December. I guess it's mid-December. What is it? Today's the 17th. Yeah, it's the 17th, December 17th, which means we're halfway through the month, which, we're actually, let's do the math on that. We're a little more than halfway through the month, and we're a week away from the birthday of the guy, the J-Man, the Sky King. He's up there right now looking down at us, thinking, and I'll tell you what he's doing? He's just up there practicing loaves and fishes, because there's a big fucking party coming, and he's going to Zoom all of you. Jesus is going to Zoom you for his birthday and he's going to taunt you because you're like, J-Man, this is fucking awesome. We wish we had some gifts and you could come down here with the fucking fish trick. And he's like, oh yeah, check this out on Zoom. First of all, by the way, he's on mute. He forgets to turn it back on. So he's like, and you're like, Jesus, you're on mute. Jesus, you're on mute. Oh, sorry about that. And then Jesus does this. claps once, waves his hands, and it's a goddamn ocean of fish in his living room. And he laughs and laughs uproariously because you can't experience it. You think Jesus has a living room? Let me ask you this. Does heaven have houses? We always heard about clouds and shit like that. And there's supposed to be, there's pearly gates. So clearly somebody up there knows something about building structures. All right. There's pearly gates and fucking Jeff the Baptist, whoever the fuck that guy is. What's his name? I'm teasing. It's John the Baptist. I just realized it. No, who's the guy at the front gate? Fucking Rick. No. Jake. No. These all seem strong and aggressive. Those are stronger names than I'm thought. Matthew? It's Matthew, right? No, Matthew, Luke, Perry? It's Luke Perry. Matthew Perry and Luke Perry. It's the two of them. The Perry brothers that's who you meet when you get up there and you get to heaven. And Matthew Perry looks at you and he goes, "Could you be more saved?" And then he lets you right in, and then you go find a house or a cloud. St. Peter, that's his fucking name. That guy's got a podium. So he's got a podium, and there's already, like I said, they built a fence, which already, let's think about that for just a second, okay? Heaven has a gate, right? Not Heaven's Gate, but heaven has like the pearly gates, right? So that means there must be sky crime. Because if heaven felt so insecure that they had to build a gate around the joint, that implies that there's some sort of, I don't know, dive bombing pirates or whatever the fuck, some rambunctious idiots who keep doing fucking smash and grabs on the podium and the rest of the Jesus' jewelry stores. Because if you have to build the pearly gates, that indicates that somehow there are people gate crashing or swooping in or trying to, is it like Helm's Deep? Is that what it is? Is there just waves of bad souls trying to get in? And so you had to build a gate? I don't know. And how big around is that gate? Because how big around is, I mean, what's the square footage of heaven? What are we talking about here, right? Because you got to figure everybody who's ever died is there. And I don't want to hear about hell and all that bullshit. I mean, everybody's still, even if some of them get jettisoned off to hell, they still have to ride the fucking holy escalator and stand outside the gate. Now imagine that fucking wait. Holy shit, I've waited in line for fucking Van Halen concert tickets. I got to imagine getting into heaven's got to be a lot worse. Because, you're only selling 18,000 for the Rosemont Horizon. There's got to be 18 million people a day who die in this country. Although, and it's going up every day, courtesy of you non-mask fuckheads. 18 million seems strong, right? Because no, worldwide, I bet that's not a bad number. Because we've got 330 million in the United States alone. There's 330 million people in the United States. So 18 million would be what, like 5% of that? So 5% if 5% of the United States died at once, I'm trying to do the math quickly in my head. Don't yell at me. So then you've got 18 million worldwide. Yeah, fuck it. I think I'm right. I'm sticking by my math on that. Step the fuck off. Nobody come at me with some goddamn, take your slide rule and shove it up your fucking slidey ass. Take your abacus and go fucking ring it around your goddamn neck and count yourself to sleep. You thought you could count sheep? Fuck that. Put an abacus around your goddamn neck and count marbles. Do that bullshit because you're coming at me with goddamn, actually, Mike, here's the numbers exactly. Shut up. 18 million people die a day. I've said it. I've decreed it. And who you can argue? You can argue with me, Major Silk? I don't think you are. Lieutenant goddamn Silk of the goddamn Awesome Voice Brigade. I think you're not going to fucking bring that to my goddamn attention. But so heaven, as I've mentioned, there's 18 million people dying, and then people got to go to heaven, and they got to have their thing in front of St. Peter. I mean, look, I'm sure there's a couple of bad dudes like Ted Bundy and fucking Richard Ramirez who they killed a bunch of people. But like, is there, all right, and again, I don't know this thing. I don't know your fucking comic book, whatever the fuck Jesus says and all that nonsense. Let me ask you this. If Ted Bundy's a good guy and he's nice to dogs his whole life, but he kills a bit like fucking 40 women with a corkscrew, right? We can say that. He's nice to dogs. He was always nice to his grandma, and yet he killed 40 women with a corkscrew. And then he asks for forgiveness, right, on his deathbed, and then you're supposed to let him in no matter what. Because that's the rules in your book, in your pamphlet. It says, as long as you on your deathbed say, oh man, I'm sorry. And then a guy with a different collar than the rest of us goes, okay, no problem. You can go to heaven and get in. Now imagine, let me ask you this. Say you're a pope. Hey, you're Pope Lou, whatever the fuck, Pope Larry. And you're Pope Larry and you die. And you die the same day as fucking Ted Bundy. And then you go to heaven and you're standing in line. Because look, you're the Pope, yes, but nobody's cutting the fucking line here. It's not, there's a velvet rope fucking everywhere. All right, Pope, you got your weird hat on. Maybe they'll put the touch on you and take you out and let you in. Maybe somebody will let you cut the goddamn line. Maybe St. Peter and his friends will say, all right, there, go get the guy with the mitre. Get that dude. But if not, and you got to wait on the escalator just like everybody else, and you find yourself standing next to Ted Bundy and you're like, I was a Pope, man. That guy was cool, and I blessed everybody, and I fed them bread, which was supposedly Jesus, and then I poured blood in their face, and everybody loved that part of me. And then I walked, because again, I gotta be honest, what does the Pope do? Does he set rules? Does he set laws for the church? I guess he does, right? Or does he just enforce the laws of the church? Is he like a super cop? Is that what the hat brings to the fucking table? That's part of his badge and his outfit? I don't know. I can't. Look, and again, whenever there's an issue with religion and I start talking about it, there's always one person who writes me and they're just like, you know, it's just if you don't believe in it, that's fine. But, you know, you understand. I know, I get it, but we're having fun. So what we're doing is we're having fun. And I'll tell you what, if this is offensive in any sort of way to the J-Man and the rest of his Sky pals, then guess what? Guess what I do when I die? Right there on the old bedtide, I go, hey, you with the collar, I'm sorry. And he goes, you're fine. And then I go to heaven with Ted Bundy, who's there, by the way, because Ted Bundy asked for forgiveness on his deathbed. So then he goes up to heaven, and he's standing next to the Pope in the fucking escalator, and he's like, Pope's like, what are you in for? And Ted Bundy's like, killed 40 girls with a corkscrew. And what are you in for? And the Pope's like, I don't know. I was the boss of the church. How the fuck am I standing next to you? He goes, well, I asked to, he goes, do you know Ray? And the Pope's like, what? He goes, Ray from Utah, Father Ray. And the Pope's like, yes, of course, certainly, I know all of them. And Bundy's like, well, he forgave me, said it was okay. And so he's kind of giving me the heads up. I'm sure he's going to put in word with the big man up at the front of the escalator, and I'm going to get right in the doors. And the Pope's kind of scoffing to himself because he's like, yeah, well, our book says that, but it's not real. And then the Pope gets to the front. And they're like, oh, Larry, what's happening, man? We'll get to you in just a second. But first, how are you, Ted? And they're like, and Ted's like, what? And they're like, Ray told us all about you. As a matter of fact, if you pop in here, that'd be fantastic. I will tell you this, though. There's a map and a neighborhood you want to avoid. Oh my God, you absolutely want to avoid this neighborhood because there are 40 families who are very angry with you right now and they would like a word. So we're going to send you over here. And Ted's like, thanks guys, whatever. And he goes off to the fucking space casino. And the Pope's just like, what the fuck, man? I'm in heaven with that guy, killed 40 chicks with a corkscrew. And then the Pope's furious because he's like, holy shit, I got the gold house and shit, and everybody kissed my feet, and that was fun. And I drove around in the boxcar, sweet. But as much fun as it was to drive in the hermetically sealed fucking boxcar, I could have killed 40 chicks with a corkscrew. What the fuck is wrong with me, man? Man, did I go the wrong way in this? I fucking backed the wrong horse. When in reality, no, Larry, you didn't back the wrong horse. In fact, the very fact that you did the job to the best of your ability and you held up the holy book and all of its teachings is the very reason that you and I are sharing heaven with a guy who disemboweled 40 chicks with a goddamn corkscrew because he got forgiven on his deathbed, just like it says in the book. And you believed in it before, and now you're upset because you got a studio apartment and fucking he's got a penthouse at the goddamn casino because he was nice to his grandma and he killed 40 chicks with a corkscrew. Ugh. Larry, think twice. So here's what I say to you. This is my message I bring to all of you out there listening right now. Think twice before you become Pope. Think twice. If they come to you with the Pope offer and they got the black smoke and the whole nine and they're like, hey, how about you, John? And you're like, well, it's a good Pope name, right? And they're like, yeah, there was a John and a John Paul and a John Luke and a John Barrymore or whatever the fuck. And you're like, oh, you know what? I might want to do it. However, part of me also owns a hatchet and wants to use it in ways that a hatchet should not be used. And they're like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, if you don't want to become Pope, that's totally fine. You want to go on a hatchet killing spree, no problem. Just do us a favor. Before you're done, come over to our place and ask whoever we do choose for Pope to forgive you. Because again, it's in the book. And then, and I guess we'll just see you upstairs. And he's like, all right, see you fellas. And they're like, hey, have fun. Now I will say this, especially at this holy time on the calendar. I only went to Catholic school for a couple of years, so I could be wrong about some of this. I don't want to go ahead and reach out and just say that I'm wrong about all of it, and I certainly don't want to say that I'm right about all of it, because certainly I'll have to answer to some fucking scholar, someone from the Talmud, or somebody's going to write me up and go, oh, excuse me, don't you understand, sir? And then he'll give me some lesson in fucking, Jesus degrees, and I'll be like, okay, my fault. And I will cop to it. If this is wrong in any way, shape, or form, please, well, if the Pope wants to contact me, and who's the Pope now? Pope, well, John's dead. John Paul's dead. And Pope Benedict, he came after Pope John, right? Is it Pope Francis, I want to say? Is it him? Frankie? Pope Frankie? The chairman of the board, the chairman of the holy board, Pope Francis. Ba-ba-ba-ba-boo. Why does he do Dean Martin, Bing Crosby? I don't know. Instead, he should have a velvet tone. Well, no, that's more of a, who's that? That's Mel Torme, the Velvet Fog. Was he the Pope? Pope Mel? It's not a bad name for a Pope. What's up, Pope Mel? How you doing, Pope Mel? See, that's what we need to do. We need to start combining celebrities into that job because we hired a celebrity to be president, and that went well. So let's go ahead and hire a president to be like, or a celebrity to be Pope. Let's find a fucking, who's a good actor to be Pope? I don't know. Mandy Patinkin? Popkin? Mandy Poptinkin? He's got a salt and pepper vibe, right? He seems like a professorial person. Well, who's pious? Who's like a holy dude that can be a goddamn, or it doesn't even have to be that. Who's like who's one of our old beloved actors? Is Charles Durning still alive? Let's make him the Pope. Big bulbous alcohol nose. Or Bob Prosky? Bob Prosky still around? Let's throw him in the fucking office. You know what? I will not rest until a character actor is named the Pope. I demand it. I demand it right now. George Kennedy, you still alive? Grab a miter, buddy. You're poping it up. Go heal somebody with your big, meaty George Kennedy hands, dragline. All right. Hi. How are you? We ready for Christmas? I hope we are. That's next week. I shouldn't be talking about Christmas this week. Christmas is next week. But God knows I want to analyze Christmas. That's what I want to talk about right now is Christmas. I did a podcast with my friend Pat Francis. I'll tell you about it later. Well, I guess I'll tell you now. I did a Christmas podcast with Pat. It's his Rock Solid show, and he called it Merry Schmittmas, which was, it's certainly a nice tribute to me, and it honored me in a strange way, and I was happy. But that comes out next week, so go ahead and listen to that. Why am I doing plugs already? I'm just barely into the goddamn show. I'm a little amped up because I had some McDonald's on the way home from Pat's house. I had McDonald's at the drive-thru, and I'm not that guy. Like I'm not. Here's the thing. As you know, I'm destroying myself. That's what 2020 has been all about. It's been me going, you know what? Let's do all this Wile E. Coyote shit we can to our body without a roadrunner to catch. I'm falling off cliffs and landing in piles of spaghetti. I'm running into a painted tunnel on a rock, and then and falling down into a child's wading pool of Pepsi. All these bad things are happening, and yet, I live to tell the tale. So tonight I was driving home and I wanted McDonald's. Now I have food in my house, but it was like, you know what? I'll get some McDonald's because again, it's that forbidden fruit. I'm a child. I can get what I want. I'm a grown up, whatever. And also they have this deal over McDonald's that I've actually gotten a couple of times this month, and I hate to say it. I've been to McDonald's. Not even this month. I was here once this month, like a week ago, and then I actually went to McDonald's like a month ago. But they had a deal where it's like you buy two things and one of them's $1. So like if you buy a double quarter pounder with cheese, and then you get a fillet of fish for $1, and that is just, you know what they call that? They call that the fat man's lucky charm. That's what they call it. They call that the fat man's 1-2, the fat man's right left. And so I did it a couple of weeks ago. A week ago? No, about 10 days ago. It was 9 days ago. It could have been 14 days ago. I'm not sure. Look, don't hold me to it. I didn't write it in my goddamn address book. By the way, I don't have an address book. I have a phone now that tracks all that stuff. And it's funny. I used to have address books and stuff with everybody's name in it and all that. And now I'm like, you know what? I got a phone. I don't have to do that. And I used to write things down when I had to write things down. And now that I have a phone, I don't do a fucking thing. I don't keep track of anything. If the phone absorbs that information and I can find it later, that's great. But if it does not, oh, well, I may never speak to you again. So I go to McDonald's, right? I think I told you, you know what? I went to McDonald's. I went in November, but the last time I had been to McDonald's before that was on New Year's Eve night. Remember, because I was kicking off the year of I will. Remember when that was an idea? I was going to do the year of I will this year. So I said, you know what I feel like eating? I feel like eating McDonald's here at 2:30 in the morning. Remember, and I got caught in the drive-thru. Long story. By year 12, or go back and listen to something in January. I don't fucking know. But so then I actually, when they put this new deal out, I was driving past McDonald's a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, all right, I'm in. So I did it. And I mean, because you can't argue with 2 sandwiches for $7, because that's another reason. I will tell you this, and I think I talked about this in fucking January. Another reason I don't go to McDonald's is I want better burgers. You know what I mean? You go to an In-N-Out, you get a much better burger. But I also don't want to go to McDonald's because like a fucking like a fillet of fish meal is $9. It's a fillet of fish. It's fucking garbage. I mean, I love them. They have a unique taste that you can only get within the fillet of fish. Because I dare you. I fucking defy you. Go get a fish sandwich from any other goddamn place. Wendy's has like a fucking ocean cod sandwich. Burger King has a whaler. All these places have some fried fish sandwich, and it's fucking trash, man. It's just gross. You know why? I mean, their tartar sauce is aggressive. The fish is just bland. Because they got haddock, or they got some, well, haddock's decent, I think, if you do it right. I'm sure it's just like tilapia or scrod. Oh, fuck. Who the fuck wants scrod? Look, I don't want scrod normally, okay? But if you told me I had to get it at a drive-thru and eat it in my car, it's even less attractive. That doesn't sound good to me at all. Hey, buddy, you like scrod? I do not. Well, what if we fried it up and you had to eat it while you were on the highway? Well, okay. Now, you know what? I'm willing to give that scrod a day in court. Let's do it. Fry it up and let's take a look. What if we gave you a sauce that is supposed to be cold, but because it was put in the bag with your hot scrod, it got warm. So then you're dunking your hot scrod into a warm mayonnaise of sorts. Oh my God, does that sound delicious? Can you hear my stomach doing flips already? I hope you can. And that's a hard feat because I had my stomach turned into a goddamn coin purse a fucking years ago. But now here it is doing exercises. It's jumping for joy at the thought of dunking hot scrod into a warm mayonnaise. Or not even a warm mayonnaise, a warm mayonnaise-based sauce. So I'm out. I don't like any of those. But the filet of fish has a certain charm. The filet of fish is the... It's like there's porn all over the internet. You can stumble in it anywhere. However, there's only one Pornhub. And that, friends, is the filet of fish. The filet of fish is the Pornhub of fish sandwiches. That's what I say. And so that's the one you turn to. If you want to have a delightful fish sandwich or run off a batch, you go to Pornhub and filet of fish. And I'll tell you this. Don't mix the two. Oh my God, do not mix the two. Do you know how dangerous that is? To tune into Pornhub with you got your fucking cock in your left hand and your fucking fillet of fish in the right, and you're stroking and biting and stroking. Don't do that. It sounds cool. Now look, I'll tell you this. That sounds amazing. And just saying it out loud right now, it makes me want to do it. Did it move you a little bit? Because again, we're all wet, certainly from the beginning of the podcast and my new voice. Not new voice, it's my old voice, but it just comes back periodically. But are you thinking about stroking and biting and stroking? I think you should be. Are you thinking that should be the name of the show? Let's click a pen and see if we can make that the name of the show. Stroking and biting and stroking, baby. All right. Should I write a time code or should I write the whole thing down? I don't know, man. It's a mystery for me. But yeah, do not jerk off while eating fast food. It's not a good look. Because you know why? Because eventually you're tempted. Because you'll find some you'll be like, hey, this bean burrito is almost like a fleshlight. And you just bite off the end of it and just plunge your cock into the center of it because you're like, yeah, it's kind of warm and let's do this. Don't do that. Here's what I say. Avoid fucking fast food. And I say it, take that both meanings. Avoid fucking fast food and avoid fucking fast food. Don't put your dick in anything that's under $6. So that means if you go get a burrito, it's like $15 in the Mission or something. By all, you know what? Go balls deep in that motherfucker. That's right. Just watch out for a wayward French fry, but plunge it in there, baby. Fuck that burrito. Keep fucking that chicken and also fuck that burrito. What was I talking about? Oh, fish. So, dude, that's the thing. The filet of fish, that's the gold standard. If you watch the Olympics, all right, and you see that guy and the gold, he's won the gold medal, they give him a filet of fish. And that guy with the silver medal and the guy with the bronze medal, they get fucking nothing. You know what they get to do? No, I apologize. The guy on the gold, he gets the filet of fish. You know what the guy on the silver stand gets? He gets to smell the filet of fish while the guy on the gold stand is eating it. And you know what the guy with the bronze gets? Yeah, that's right. He gets the fucking hot scrod with a mayonnaise base. The hot scrod with a mayonnaise base sauce that nobody enjoys. And don't come at me, England, with your bullshit chips nonsense. Yes, fish and chips is a different animal. Fish and chips is delicious. If you go to a place and you order fish and chips, yes, it rules the world. But I'm talking about some fucking on-the-run bullshit that a fucking 16-year-old made you and jammed into a bag. You don't know what happened to him. The kid's drooling COVID all over your fucking sandwich. Now you're going to fucking choke that down? And even worse, it's bad fish. Look, if I'm going to risk COVID, it's going to be for the Pornhub of fish sandwiches. It's not going to be for the fucking ridiculous nonsense that you're calling a goddamn hot scrod. I don't want a hot scrod from Burger King. And I'll tell you what, they call it the Whaler. Change it to the hot scrod. You might as well. You might get weird fetishists who go, ooh, the hot scrod. I'm going to bite that motherfucker. I don't know. But see, so that's the thing. The gold medal is the fillet of fish. Silver medal, smelling the fillet of fish. And bronze, you're just smelling the hot scrod. You're biting the hot scrod with the mayonnaise base, the hot mayonnaise base. The warm mayonnaise. It's not even hot. If you heat up the mayonnaise, then it could be like an Alfredo, I suppose. Like you dunk it on that fucking fish. But if it's just warm, imagine that. Just that warm, congealed mayonnaise. You ever see mayonnaise? Because mayonnaise is like egg yolks and fucking butter. That's all it is, right? So fucking, you ever get the mayonnaise and you leave it out or the cap is off of it or something in the summer at a picnic and you glance over at it and the mayonnaise in the cap is turned yellow? Because it's starting to revert back to its normal form. It's breaking before your very eyes. And you think to yourself, well, that can't be healthy. And then you go to put the cap back on and you're like, wait a second here. There's yellow mayo in the cap and the regular mayo's fine. But they've both been out in the sun. Is that really an issue? And then you got to swab out the fucking yellow mayo from inside the cap and cap it up and try to put it in the fridge. That drives me crazy when you go to a picnic and everybody puts like a fucking potato salad in the sun. If you invite me to a cookout, first of all, I can't come because we're all trying to lock down. Because I don't know if you've heard, Los Angeles is now the epicenter of COVID-19. And that's not even a joke. Like, I wish it was a fucking joke, but it's not. We are literally the epicenter for the world of COVID-19. It's like the most infected state with the most infected county and the most infected city. Los Angeles County in the state of California is right now the epicenter of COVID-19. One in every, what did I read today? 1 in every 3,000 people will die or something like that. And again, these numbers, who the fuck knows that these numbers are real? I have no clue. You know, I know it's like the numbers that I know are real are the numbers that keeps fucking going up. It's the guys who are doing the math and going, well, here's the thing, but 99% people survive, whatever the fuck. Right now, it doesn't matter. Stay in your fucking house. Like, I went to the store the other day because I had to get some stuff. I don't know. Why did I add that addendum? Of course I had to get stuff. What if I just went to the store to wistfully browse, hoping to get the germ? Wouldn't that be great if I got infected right here in the pasta aisle? You know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get a bag of rigatoni. I'm going to get some elbow macaroni and hopefully the HIV. You got that? Is there a shelf with the HIV on it? That's what I'm a-doing. I'm just here a-brewing and hoping to get the germ. Because I want to go ahead and live my life in a ventilator with a tube in my throat. Da-da-da-da, beep, beep, beep. Pay no attention to the man singing the wrong words behind the curtain. All right. I don't understand the, what were we talking about? The fish sandwich. Oh, McDonald's. I'm at McDonald's, right? And I love the filet of fish. That's the siren song that gets me in the goddamn door. I will say, like, once a year, I'll have that thing where I'm like, I want to bite a Big Mac. Big Macs are awesome. Not like my friend Pete Galgano, who one time in McDonald's took a bite of a Big Mac and apropos of nothing went, Big Macs are fair. We were in high school. Hey, budding young food critic Pete Galgano. Big Macs are fair. And those of you wondering, yes, that is the same Pete Galgano who flexed on the way into the party and said, here's my fucking toga. That's right. Go buy year 2. So occasionally you'll be like, I got to bite a Big Mac. It's like occasionally I have a garbage mind. Occasionally I'm like, you know what I need? Little Caesar's pizza. Nobody in their right fucking mind, nobody on the planet needs Little Caesar's pizza. You might want it. You might think to yourself, well, that would be a decent purchase. I haven't had that in a while. Oh, my Martin fucking Ed Grimley. Oh, that would be a decent purchase, I must say. I haven't, had Little Caesars in a while. Because you can't go outside of your house. Again, that's another thing too. Because if I'm going out of my house, I'm going to good places. I'm not going out of my house to risk it for a fucking some fucking quesarito. I mean, do you want to die for a quesarito? No. I got tricked into going to fucking Taco Bell in the beginning of the pandemic when I was out one time. I was trying to just do anything that was normal. But now you find yourself out, and I'm like, oh man, and also you want to keep small businesses afloat. But as we've talked about before, I try to keep my Chinese place afloat, and then I go there and they fucking yell at me. It's like, what are you yelling at me for? Is this supposed to be like part of the charm? Like you're a New York style fucking Chinese restaurant and then you fight with your customers? I don't know. And again, it hasn't been that bad for a while, but still there's some attitude lurking. I'm not going to lie to you. Even though I'm coming in there, I'm buying Beijing pork from you guys. Oh, I made a mistake the other day. Oh, you know what I did? Fuck, dudes. All right. I bought I went to get Chinese food, and I'll get back to McDonald's in just a second. Let's talk about food. Let's do that. Let's be fat. I went and got Chinese food, and I'm trying to get, like, I try to sample different things on the menu, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, all right, this might be good or that, you know. And I shouldn't, you know, you should have your call at a Chinese joint. And look, I have my call because I get myself a chili oil shrimp fried rice, and I add water chestnuts to it. That's the base of the pyramid. Then sometimes I'll get some lao zhong bao, some soup dumplings. Maybe I'll get myself a pork shumai, which is like it's a little pork golf ball covered in a noodle. Oh, it's delicious. There's a Beijing pork. Sometimes I'll get a sesame chicken. Sometimes I get a crispy cauliflower. See, I like all of these things. They're all very good. I'll get a Mongolian beef on occasion. But sometimes I'll venture into Noodle Town, and they had this stuff called like pork mufu or whatever the fuck. I don't even know. But it says right on the menu, it says our chef's favorite lunch. And I was deciding between that and pan-fried crispy noodle. So I Googled pan-fried crispy noodle, and it looked delightful. But in my head, I said, you know what? I'm going to try this pork mufu. This is a couple of months ago. So I get the pork mufu. I get it home. Oh, Jesus. It was, you know, you ever heard the term angel hair pasta? You know what that is? Angel hair pasta? Well, this was not a pasta that would be called, this was an actual angel's hair. And they somehow had stir-fried it with pork. And it tasted like a miracle. It was some sort of, when I ate it, I guarantee a guy in heaven named Luke cried because he knew how delicious it was and he was happy for me. This pork mufu was fucking, and I see now I see why it's the crew's favorite lunch. That's what sold me, that particular sentence. It's our crew's favorite lunch. Because as you know, if you go to a restaurant, you say to the waiter, hey man, it's my first time here. What am I getting? What's your lead me, hit me, as our friend Pat Benatar would say, hit me with your best shot. Lead with your best your best plate. And whatever that is, I'm going to order it. Now, I might order stuff around it, but I'm definitely going to order the one thing you tell me I have to order. So if on the menu, it literally says pork mufu is our fucking chef's favorite lunch, I am in. So I got pork mufu that day. I got a little Beijing pork. What else did I get? Oh, you know what else I like? They have they have a crispy pork belly, which is a delight. All sorts of different things. And they got a bunch of Sichuan stuff too. They got frog legs and stuff, man. Jesus. Ants on a log, I think it's called, or ants in the tree with glass noodles and all sorts of interesting stuff. They've got some, they got a thing that sounds good, but it's served cold. I don't want to eat that. They got the Dan Dans. I think they got some Dan Dan noodles. Got some Dan Dan noodles. But the pork mufu, that's my buddy. That's it. That's what the chef eats. So I'm like, I'm in. So I ordered it. I got it home, and it was glorious. Again, as I said, they wept in heaven over the thought of it. You thought they cried when Eric Clapton's kid took a swan dive. They cried their fucking eyes out when I ate this pasta. And Clapton's writing a song about it right now. He's updating it. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to laugh at yourself. You're supposed to have another friend here to laugh at you. But Jesus Christ, that made me laugh. How fast was that? That was pretty quick, right? All right. So Park Mufu runs the show. It's the big boss of the noodle dishes, right? So the next time I ordered was a couple weeks ago, and they had the allure. The Zamfir's pan flute of the pan-fried crispy noodle was calling me. Let me ask you something. I just said 4 words. Did any one of them sound not fucking delicious? Maybe pan. But I'll tell you what, I would eat the fuck out of Pan if I caught him. You want to talk about, because he's the one with the pan flute. Pan with the fucking pan flute? I'd eat the fuck out of that. Isn't he like a sheep boy or whatever the fuck? I think so. Or well, Pan's Labyrinth is fucking terrifying. You ever see Pan's Labyrinth? The dude with the fucking eyes in his hands? That's fucking crazy shit. Fauno. Oh, Fauno, because it's in Spanish. The whole movie is. But that's a terrifying film. But it's awesome. It's amazing. It's a miracle, a wondrous fable. If you haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, see it. But I will tell you this, absolutely. You ever see creatures in a movie and you think, I would eat that? I would eat Pan from Pan's Labyrinth if I could kill him, the guy with the fucking eyes in his hands. Why not? Would you eat Donnie Darko's rabbit? Yes, you would. Of course you would. You'd boil him up in a goddamn stew in a giant pot. You'd have to call in some favors from Africa to get a kettle that big, like I saw in cartoons. But then you throw Donnie Darko's rabbit in there. You make rabbit stew for fucking months. There you go. Cook that motherfucker. So Pork Moo Foo runs the show, but then you got pan-fried crispy noodle. And again, that is a sentence. That is amazing, right? That might be pan-fried crispy noodle, maybe as sexy as big-titted hot chick. You know, when you think about it, that might be that. You know, just that's four words you can't argue with. Pan-fried crispy noodle. That's just 4 word sex right there. That's like saying fucking blowjob Olympics cocks needed. That is a mouthful, baby. That's like saying something like fucking pussy eating competition nightly. You know what I mean? That's a game changer. Pan fried crispy noodles. That's 4 word sex, baby. It's like saying sushi cannon open wide. Don't make me think of 4 words all over again. All right. So pan-fried crispy noodle, that is, so I Google it, and again, I look at it, and it looks amazing. It looks delightful. Now, I will say this. I didn't Google it on their site. I Googled it on like overall, an umbrella Google, if you will, where I was looking at all of the pan-fried crispy noodles from all over the world, from centuries ago, all over the place. So I thought, you know what? Pork Moo Foo, again, as we know, the home run hitter. But I'm willing to give pan-fried crispy noodle in there so I see if I've got a 2-pronged attack. If I've got a 2-fisted noodle attack at fucking Chengdu House, that'd be badass. So I call and I make my order and I get the base of the pyramid. Of course, I get the chili oil fried rice, shrimp fried rice with the water chestnuts added for $2 extra. And then I look around and I think to myself, well, if I get the Beijing pork, I'm going to get the bao buns. Maybe I don't need to get some noodles, but fuck all that. Let's get some pork shumai. I think I got some pork shumai. And then I said, can I get pan-fried crispy noodle? They said, yes, of course. And I said, I want the combination, please. Because I've already got the shrimp riding all the way through in the goddamn fried rice. And I love shrimp, but I figured I'd get the combination because then I could bite some chicken, I could bite some pork. I could eat all of the Looney Tunes characters, as my friend David would say when we went to Bobby Flay's joint. I'll eat them all, goddammit. Is there a shrimp? Is there a Looney Tunes shrimp? I don't think there is. They have a Tasmanian devil. They have a cowboy with a whole bunch of facial hair. You got a rabbit. You got a duck. You got a big chicken. Do they have a cat? They got a cat now. Yeah, and a bird. They don't have a shrimp. The fuck, man? What are you, too good to go into the ocean there, Warner Brothers Looney Tunes? You got a fucking bald guy hunting a goddamn rabbit. Why can't he be a fisherman? Pull a mean crab out of the fucking lake. What if there was a trickster crab? We got to have a rabbit who fucking pulls out. And let me ask you this. Would you eat Bugs Bunny? You're goddamn right you would. You fucking saute him up with carrots. Now, look, he would bamboozle you and fool you completely. But you'd eat him. You'd eat Wile E. Coyote. Oh, that's stringy and tough. You can't eat a coyote. But you might eat the Roadrunner. But he's thin, too. I mean, he's all gristle. Who would you... Foghorn Leghorn. Now we're talking. That's good eating. You'd eat the fuck out of Foghorn Leghorn. You're not eating Sylvester the Cat because you're not a fucking animal. And you're not going to eat Tweety Bird because he's too nice. And also, what's that? A snack? That's a Tweety Bird. That's the kind of... You know what? That's the kind of bullshit bird you eat for faces of death. Like when they banged on the monkey's head with the fucking mallets and they're like, ha, here's the living monkey brain. Well, that's a Tweety Bird. He's a little gold bird. You can't fucking cook him because there's no meat on him, but you would eat him. Oh, it's like what are those the birds that they fucking eat whole, that you have to actually hide your face when you eat it? What is it? An egret? No, not an egret. There's some fucking bird out there that this is completely true. I'm not lying. It's a delicacy. I don't know what country you got to go to, Sri Lanka, whatever the fuck, but you get a bird. Okay, and he's alive. He's fucking alive, and they bring him in a cup, like a bird cup, and then you literally, you ever put your head over a steamer because you got your nasal passages clogged up, so you're inhaling some Vicks VapoRub steam so you can breathe again like a grown up? Yes. Well, this is the same principle, except instead of clearing your nasal passages, you're fucking devouring a live bird, and it's not pretty. Would I do it? I don't know, man. There's kind of a Bourdain in me that says I should, but at the same time, I don't even like talking about this shit half the fucking time. You bend down, and it's illegal in most countries, and then you put a fucking, like a handkerchief over your head, like you're doing a magic trick, like they're gonna fucking pull it away and your head's gone or something. Although I guess you are making the bird disappear, so it's kind of a magic trick. But they lay this thing over you, and then you open up your thing and you eat the bird, and that's the deal. You eat them bones and all. That's the whole fucking thing. He's like, and I don't think it's an egret. I forget the name of it. It's a fancy bird, but they bring him out in a cup. He's alive, and then you bite him. And you chew the fuck out of him, and it's literally crunchy. Like it's like those Haystacks cookies you get for Christmas, Or it's Chinese noodles and chocolate. Well, this time it is, but except it's a goddamn bird and he's got a family. Fuck you. Cookies don't have families. You eat that fucking haystack cookie, you're just like, all right, it was a cookie, I knocked it off. But if you eat a bird, I got news for you. There's like 2 kid birds who are like, Jesus Christ, we got to avoid the cup. And that guy just ate mom. So you just bend your head in there. And he even know. And look, don't think you're fooling anybody hiding your fucking head underneath the shame cloth. Everybody knows you're eating a fucking live bird. And you're just like, there's blood on your face and feathers in your mouth. Is that what you want? Is that why you graduated college? To go travel across overseas to fucking Bangladesh and get fucking blood on your face and feathers in your mouth? Crunching bones like you're some kind of fucking weird Viking? No. How dare you? How dare you eat a live bird? And that's what Tweety Bird is. He's totally a delicacy. You know he is. And there's only one of him. I don't know, somehow they keep getting these fucking food birds. They have a food bird farm where they keep dragging them out and putting them in the bird cups. And then there's always a rich person who wants to eat a live bird. And look, as many fucking live birds as there are, you know that there's just as many rich guys who want to eat that live bird. There's fucking rich dudes all over the place. Hey, look at that weird swallow. I can't wait to fucking eat it. Hey, anybody know where there's a wren? I want to choke that down. Because people, when you're rich, you just fucking, you got no experiences left. You can't hunt man's most dangerous game unless you're Andy Griffith on a fucking island and you own it and you set loose a guy who looks like fucking Meredith Baxter Birney's ex-husband. Was it David Birney in that movie? I don't think it was. No, actually it looks like the brother on Family. I can't remember the actor's name. But he's a blonde dude and he's running around and Andy Griffith's trying to hunt him down because Andy Griffith's a bad guy in that movie. It's weird to see Andy Griffith be a bad guy. I just watched Face in the Crowd. I'm sorry, I'm fighting yawns all of a sudden. Why am I yawning? I'm so excited about talking about eating live birds. Fuck Andy Griffith. Anyway, so that's the thing is people eat live birds. So Tweety Bird would eat, because you think, like I said, you think you wouldn't do it, but he's the only one. It's not like there's a bunch of talking Tweety Birds that people can just go ahead and have sustenance with. No, fuck that. There's one talking Tweety Bird, and you would eat it. You know you would. Just to tell this fucking story. That's the bottom line of this show. Like I said, I'd do it for the story. I'd eat Tweety Bird for the fucking story. Do I eat him alive? Can you eat him alive? When he looks up at you and he's like, I thought a fucking disgusting rich guy wanted to bite me. And then you're like, yeah, I can do that, chomp. Because Tweety Bird is actually pretty annoying. I actually rooted for the cat. I was a weird kid. Rooted for Tom the cat. Rooted for Sylvester the cat. I never liked when the dog or the bird got over, or the mouse. Fucking mouse. All right. So I think we're Foghorn Leghorn is clearly the most edible of all of the Looney Tunes characters. And if you move over, you pivot, Tweety Bird is certainly the most exotic and the one you would absolutely eat. Like you would try to eat Bugs Bunny, but then he would outsmart you. And then all of a sudden you get pantsed and you're in the middle of a fucking like opera. See, that's the thing. You're like, oh, I'm going to eat this fucking rabbit. Imagine if that was what real life was like. You know, maybe it's too easy to eat cows. We fucking put a bolt in their head and then we sledgehammer or whatever the fuck. We make head cheese, all that shit out of them. And then we make steaks. If a cow was crafty, then it's a fight. Like I said, it's like you go to eat fucking Bugs Bunny. You're like, I'm going to fuck this rabbit up. I'm going to totally eat him for dinner. And like I said, the next thing you know, you're on a stage at an opera. Your pants fall down and somebody hits you with a pancake makeup thing. And a big fucking hairy monster goes, people, and he runs down a goddamn hallway. The fuck was his name? Harry? I don't know. That seems like a generic name for a monster, but I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I'll advance the theory his name was Harry. Was it Harry? I don't know. We talked about him on another show, I think, for some reason. Jesus. Well, it's been 13 fucking years. What haven't we talked about? This. I would eat Tweety Bird. There you go. It took 13 years to unearth that fact about me. I don't think I fight. I don't think I eat fucking ridiculous Bugs Bunny, though. Again, because inevitably I wind up getting signed to a baseball team and striking out 12 times, and a conga line makes fun of me. Pan-fried crispy noodle. So I thought to myself, well, this is the thing to get. I'm going to go ahead and order this, right? This is the thing I can order, and it'll be delightful. It'll be delectable. It'll be something that I can eat and enjoy. And I'm, I do this all the time. There's a pizza joint by me. All right. It's called Baroni's. And it's extremely good. It was Jimmy Pardo's favorite pizza joint here. And this is until the Chicago joints opened and stuff. But it's really good pizza in California. It's very good. And but here's the thing. They make their sausage. I like all right, here's this. Brace yourselves. I like a disc sausage or a crumble sausage. Okay. But their crumble sausage doesn't stay together. It falls apart like it's grainy. You know what I mean by that? Like their sausage is, it's almost like they sprinkle it on. So it's too small. Like I like a chunk of sausage. That's what I want to eat. But they sprinkle it on, and it's got like the consistency of grape nuts. All right. If you ever fucking pour that gravel out of the fucking box and look at it, it's just that it's pellets. It's small fucking pellets. It's the kind of shit you would sprinkle on the ground to try to trick an animal to get into a box. All right. So that's what their sausage breaks up into. It becomes this grainy mess. And I don't like it. I like, it's like cereal. I don't want sausage that's like cereal. I want sausage that's whole. I'm not Count Beefula, for fuck's sakes. It's Count Beefula because he's Count Chalk. He likes the cereal. Anybody? Nothing? Nobody? Fucking Boo Beefy? Franken Beefy? Anybody? Help me out here. So I want a meal. I don't want cereal. That's the point. Okay. And so I'm gun shy now when I order something different, but I always like to try new things. I like to try a different thing. And how can you go wrong with pan-fried crispy noodle? It just sounds delicious. All of those words are great. And in that order, they're fantastic. So I called the guy. You can see the end of the story coming. I believe there's a horn on it. But anyway, I called him and I ordered the combination pan-fried crispy noodle. And then I wait to go. And I have to be honest, I get excited. Just thinking what that food is like. I get excited. There's Chinese in your eyes tonight. The fire's ignited down below. It's burning bright. So I actually think to myself, because I want to try the food. That's the thing. I want to enjoy it. I want it to be good. I want to like it, for fuck's sake. And I go to pick it up. They're lovely people. I get home, and it's super heavy, the bag. So I'm like, all right, this is weird, because I didn't order this much food. But I empty the bag, and I ordered pan-fried crispy noodle. And again, I Googled it. I know exactly what it looks like. And so there's clamshells, a couple of clamshells in there. One of the clamshells has my, I ordered some chicken wings because they have, again, I didn't even need them. They're $4. They got a special on like $4 chicken wings. And I'm like, done. Make them. Orange, because it's orange chicken wings. So they fucking make those. So I pull out that clamshell. I pull out another clamshell. And then I pull out there's a plastic tub. And it has a really dark, it's not a gravy. It's more of a liquid. And I'm like, uh-oh. And then I pull out the final clamshell and I open it up, and pan-fried crispy noodle. Here's what I assumed, because I Googled it and I saw what it looked like. I do like crunchy Chinese noodles, as mentioned before in the aforementioned. Aforementioned is actually like mentioned before. Why would I double say that? The Haystacks cookies. You know what I mean? I love those things. The fucking crunchy Chinese noodles. You know who else I love? 7 Chinese Brothers. 7 Chinese Brothers. Man, I loved that story when I was a kid. Some guy was going to drink the fucking ocean. God damn, that's a brother to have. That's who you want in your family. If you're looking for a brother to have as a fucking side guy, some guy who's fucking got your back at all times, get a guy who can swallow the ocean. So I get home and I open this clamshell, and it's not the crispy Chinese noodles. Now it says pan-fried crispy noodles, certainly. I guess I would call those crunchy, the crunchy Chinese noodles that I'm thinking of, that you sprinkle on salads at a salad bar sometimes. You know, I love those. But I open this thing up, and it looks like a clamshell filled with mummified shoelaces. They look like tiny mummy bandages, like strips of mummies' bandages, and they're hard. And they're not hard like, hey, let's snap these in half. They're hard like they bend, like they're chewy, like you just, they're like plastic. That's exactly what they're like a straw, like a plastic straw that you get. And you know how you can't rip that, but you can bend it? That's what these noodles are like. And I realized that I thought pan-fried crispy noodle, because again, I Googled the motherfucker. I thought they threw those noodles, because they're not rice noodles. They're not like, glass noodles or rice noodles. They're these thick kind of buckwheat type of noodles, but like shoelaces. And I thought they would throw those in the wok with whatever the fuck's in this plastic tub, and then it softens up the noodles as you toss it around. And that was from the photos I saw. That's what I was ordering. Instead, they give it to me separate. So then I'm supposed to put the noodles in a bowl and then cover it with like the sauce and the meat from the fucking thing. And it's, just from getting it from restaurant to home, it's not as hot as it was, so it's not going to have the same effect. And so I did it. I put the noodles in a bowl and I poured this fucking, I will tell you this, the second I opened the fucking plastic tub, I knew there was trouble because it smelled like vinegar. You know that smell? That Chinese food smell that's just it's like vinegary, that black vinegary liquid. And I was so fucking pissed, dude. Because again, you spend fucking $16 or whatever on a goddamn noodle dish. You just want to choke it down. And then, you know me, I'm ending this year in a blaze of noodle-filled glory. And I pour this stuff on there and I start to mix it around, and it's loosening up the noodles so they're not really sticking together anymore. But at the same time, it's just making them pliable. Like, is that paper mache? What's the stuff you fucking put paste on, like gauze bandages, and you slap it on stuff to build shit? That's the consistency. It's just this pile of fucking wallpaper paste with vinegar. Oh my fucking God, was it awful. It was so, dude, I would rather eat Bugs Bunny than eat this vinegary mess. And but I'm fat and I paid for it. So I knew that was my fault. And I regret it. In my head, I'm like, why? And I was so sad. I'm like, Mike, where is the pork moo foo? You know the chefs don't eat the pan-fried crispy noodle, right? They eat the pork moo foo. It says so right in the menu book. Menu book? What's it? Cheesecake Factory has a menu book. No, this is just a menu. But still, it says it right there. It says, our chefs eat this every day for lunch. Pork moo foo. Who loves it? You? Yes, it was me. Because I loved it when I bought it. But this is just hard, gummy, fucking drinking straw noodles that are just the same consistency of chewing gum. They're not breaking in my mouth. And then the fucking vinegary liquid. Oh, dude, it was like going down on a skunk. You know what I mean? Just that sour fucking blast in your mouth. And I'm like, oh, this is just fucking depressing. And I still tried to power through it. I had my chopsticks. I'm mixing it up. I'm trying to make them softer or looser or whatever. And I probably ate 4 bites of it. And then I go, fuck this. And then I just started to pick out like the shrimp and the beef. But even that was tainted by the fucking vinegar sauce. Oh, dudes, what a failure. What a goddamn failure. So it was, it wasn't quite on the level of buying the grainy meatball sausage pizza from Baroni's. Well, no, fuck that, because I eat that anyway. I mean, that's not a failure. That's just me forgetting. So now I got to get pepperoni whenever I call those motherfuckers. But when I get I'll never get this again. I'll never get that noodle dish. And I felt like going over and yelling at them. But what are you going to say? I mean, you know what I mean? Because I ordered this fucking thing. I read the menu. I know pork moo foo is the chef's choice, and I went against it. Because there are no more 4 delicious words in the English language than pan-fried crispy noodle. It just sounds amazing, doesn't it? You're like, I can't wait to stick my dick into that bowl of food. And then you get it, and it's just... It looked like a fossil. Oh, it was so fucking bad. Hated it. Didn't care for it. Didn't like it. Didn't enjoy it. I spun into this. The fuck was I talking about? There was something I was discussing even before we got into Chinese food. What could it be? Fucking McDonald's. Bingo. There you go. I went to, I haven't been to McDonald's. I went New Year's Eve last year, and then I've actually gone twice in the last month because they had this deal where you buy a double quarter pounder with cheese, and then you can get like a fillet of fish for $1 or 10 McNuggets for $1, whatever the fuck. It's you know that food. And again, like I said, McDonald's is so weirdly expensive now that when I saw that, I took advantage of it. I swooped into the drive-thru. And also, I'm sure you're aware of this, folks. It's December, a long December, according to Adam Duritz. And right now, the McRib is back. Did you know this? Did you know the McRib is back? And I know you were thinking to yourself, well, you know what? I don't like the McRib. It doesn't sound tasty until Mike unleashes that amazing fucking voice on me. And then I go to myself, you know what? I totally want to eat a McRib. Here's how you get it. When you order the McRib, you get no pickles, extra onions. That's how you order a McRib like a grown-up. That's how you satisfy your mystery meat craving. That's how you eat a hoof. You got no pickles and you got extra onions. Do it. Extra slivers. So that's what I did today. I was like, all right, I'm going to get a McRib. And I'm also getting a fucking hamburger and a cheeseburger, and I'll get nothing like it. I couldn't wait, so and it was late. It was like fucking 1 a.m. So we had the lockdown here, so I wasn't even sure there was a McDonald's open. There's one that I know for sure, actually there were 2 that I know for sure are 24-hour McDonald's, but I know one of them now closes at like 11 p.m. Dude, the fucking 7-Elevens close early now. They close at midnight because nobody's supposed to be outside. None of this shit's supposed to be happening. You're supposed to be on fucking lockdown. But sometimes in the middle of the night, you got to go eat a goddamn quarter pounder with cheese and a fucking fillet of fish. So I pull into the drive. I pull up. I should say I went. The first McDonald's I went to was the one that I knew was 24 hours usually, and I pulled up and it's still 24 hours, or at least it was open when I got there at like 1. And I pulled into the drive-thru, and I rolled up to the window, and I was all excited because you know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get a quarter pounder with cheese, no pickle, extra onion. I'm going to get a fillet of fish, and I'm going to get a McRib sandwich. I'm not going to fuck around with fries because I like McDonald's fries. Clearly, McDonald's fries are very good, but they're not going to make it to my house. By the time I get to my house, it's just potato disappointment. That's all it is. It's not even French fries anymore. It's not crispy. They're not hot. They're still salty and soggy. And it's just, there's nothing worse than a mouthful of limp dick fries. You know what I mean? Fuck that. So I'm just going sandwiches. I'm getting the fucking hat trick of sandwiches. I'm getting a McRib, no pickle, extra onion, quarter pounder with cheese, no pickle, extra onion. And then, of course, your fillet of fish. And the fillet of fish you eat in the car. As I've mentioned, you can get home and jerk off and eat it while you're eating it. But, I eat it in the car because it comes right out of the old microwave there at McDonald's, and it is hot, and the bun is soft, and you want to choke it down. So I pull up to the speaker, and before I started firing off sandwiches, I said to the guy, hey, he's like, hey, McDonald's going to help you. I said, hey, do you still have the buy one sandwich, get one for $1? And, cause again, I don't know, but I want to make sure before I order that they have that. And I said, you still got the buy one sandwich, get one for $1? And the guy goes, no, man, we haven't had that for weeks. And, fucking forgive me for not keeping up with the current McDonald's menu trends, you fucking jagoff. What are you talking? Why are you kind of trying to shame me? Look, it's bad enough I'm in a McDonald's drive-thru at 1 o'clock in the goddamn morning, but then you're going to drop this on me like I'm supposed to, like, do you think, let me ask you this, do you think I get the McDonald Land Gazette delivered to my house? Do you think that happens? Do you think I read the Hamburglers column every single morning? Do you think I watch all of Mayor McCheese's briefings? I don't know. I don't know if that's what you believe about me. Do you think I have a direct line to the Fry Guys? Do you think Grimace and I enjoy a conversation or two during every week? No, we don't. I don't talk to these fucking guys. I don't talk to Ronald. I don't talk to fucking Captain O'Hook with the fillet of fish thing, even though I'd love to because I'd love to know his secret recipe. But still, I don't know that shit. So he's just like, no, man, we haven't had that for weeks. And I didn't like what he said, but also I recognize it's not his fault because he's busy and he works at McDonald's and he's not happy. So here's what I did. I don't know, and I don't even know what possessed me to do it because I was just like I didn't want to get mad, but I also was like looking forward to it, so I was frustrated at the same time. But I wanted to try to make it all come out in one blurt, and so I just went, "Good Lord," and loud, like yelled it, like I just said it at the top of my lungs. Good Lord. And I heard him laugh and like kind of like turn the microphone off. And then I ordered food anyway, because I'm a monster, because now I'm in the drive-thru anyway. So here's what I get. I get a McRib. I have to sacrifice my quarter pounder with cheese. I get a McRib, and then I get a fillet of fish meal. So I bump in the fries, which was stupid. I should have just got a fillet of fish. But here's the thing. Fillet of fish is like $4.80. It's not worth $4.80. The fillet of fish is not worth $4.80 unless you're getting a fucking hitchhiker for $1. But it was already 1 a.m. I was already in the drive-thru. There was already somebody behind me, so I didn't mind. So I got a Coke and a fucking fillet of fish and hot fries, and I ate the fries all on the way home. I was done with the fries before I got to my house. Plowed through those. And then ate the fillet of fish, and then ate the half the McRib. I couldn't finish the rest. In the old days, I could power through that like a maniac. I don't think it's. I'm not admitting defeat by saying I couldn't eat the McRib, the fillet of fish, and the large fry all in one night. I only took 2 bites of the McRib, and it's in the fridge right now. And now, so that starts the clock on this. Have you ever reheated a McRib Is that something I want to do? Because here's the thing I'm thinking. Like, I'm not even sure if it's going to taste good, whatever the fuck. All you do is heat it up, and that's fine. Maybe it'll taste good. It's just bread and fucking sauce and just a fucking pig anus that they've covered in fucking sauce. That's why I get the extra onion. It takes the edge off the pig anus. But I'm more worried about heating the fucking thing up in my house and then having my whole house smell like heated up pig anus. I can't. Look, I can't have that. It's the Christmas season. Do you think Santa wants to come to a house that smells like pig anus? You think Heavy J and the boys are going to come to town and do the fish and wine trick in my goddamn house if the whole place smells like fucking barbecued pig anus? I don't think they are. So I'm at a loss here. It's in the fridge, and I don't know later. So, because also, I'll tell you this. I'm not eating the fucking thing cold. That is a non-starter. That is not happening. No way. No, sir. No how. You can't eat a cold McRib. Now, because at that point, you might as well just sleep in the street. Now you're just a hobo. If you're eating anything cold from McDonald's, that means you fished it out of a garbage can. Just at least zap it with the microwave to give yourself some sort of sense of civility. It's bad enough you're choking down leftover McDonald's, but if you eat it cold, you know what you are? You're just a junkie at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Who's beyond hope? You're fucking Jared Leto at the end of fucking Requiem for a Dream. They got to cut your arm off and you got to eat cold McDonald's food. Spoiler alert. Because there's no, you don't eat cold McDonald's food. It's bad enough people eat cold fries. Those are fucking disgusting. But a cold fucking sandwich from McDonald's, can you imagine that? Like, what if they branched out? Let me even ask you this. If they branched out and they sold like a sub, they were like, hey man, we got a new McDonald's turkey sub. You want to eat it? You'd be like, fuck you, Ronald, and all your bullshit fucking stuffed friends. I'm not eating your goddamn turkey sandwich. If I want to eat shitty turkey, I'll go to Subway. It's the same goddamn thing. I don't go to fucking Subway and go, hey man, you got a sub rib? Because they can't use the Mick. Obviously, some sort of trademark problem, some sort of issue with the trademarks. Jared and Ronald had a meeting. They swapped them back and forth. I don't know. So I don't know whether to reheat this fucking thing. I should just throw it out, right? I mean, but I can't. It's only here for like 2 weeks or whatever the fuck, a month. McRibs are special. You know, it's Christmas time. I might as well have wrapped this fucking thing and put a goddamn bow on it because it was a little present to myself at 1 o'clock in the morning. A fucking McRib. No pickle, extra onion. But now that it's in the fridge, it's just become a burden. It consumes my every waking thought. What do I do? Because I can't eat it cold, but I don't know if I heat it up. Because if the whole goddamn house smells like mesquite pig anus, we got a fucking issue on our hands. I don't know. I'll update you. I'll keep you posted. We'll see what happens. Jesus fucking Christ, what a mess. Remember the beginning of the year? Beginning of the year, we're going to be, hey, let's be healthy. Let's hit the treadmill. Let's do all this. And now here I am. I just got a face full of fucking mesquite pig anus at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm happy to tell you about it. This is the kind of shit you used to do in shame. You used to hide this sort of shit. This is the kind of stuff you hide in a closet and then you eat it and then you binge it and you fucking purge it out later. Well, you know what? I'm not putting my fingers in my mouth nearly enough these days. I'm putting all the wrong things in my mouth. Everything, you know what? I'm putting everything in my mouth but my fingers, and that's got to change. Let's fucking plant a flag and go forward. Bulimia now, right? Let's do it in 2021. Let's bring back purging as a way to just feel better about ourselves. 2020, the year of mesquite pig anus. 2021, the year of 2 fucking fingers banging on my uvula and trying to make sure that I save my life from myself. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok at Mike40YOB. That's Mike40YOB. Have I done a TikTok? I've not. I promised to do one and I still didn't because it just strikes me as strange. You know what I did this week? I did a bunch of Snapchats to people who sent me some Snapchats, and I filmed myself and talked to them because I felt awful about the fact that I hadn't answered their Snapchats in forever. So, and I don't know why I say that like some big fucking reward for people. Nobody's home just going, oh, please let me get a talkie from Mike Schmidt. You know, who the fuck am I? Valentino? Al fucking Jolson? No, I'm not. Nobody is begging to find a talkie for me in their goddamn Snapchat mailbox. But still, I'm there. Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Perhaps I'll do a Christmas TikTok. Maybe I'll do something like that. Maybe the next time I eat some exotic food. Maybe when I make the mesquite pig anus and it just fucking fills the house with its death smell as it all smells like the goddamn stockyards. Then I'll go ahead and broadcast that on a Snapchat or a TikTok or both. Ooh, overlapping content? Look at me passing out bite-sized content together forever. A Venn diagram with my Snapchat and my Instagram and my fucking TikTok all within one circle. So follow me at those places. Instagram, Snapchat, Snizchat, Instagram, Snatchchat, and of course TikTok. And you can find me on Mike40YOB, and you'll just be my friend. That's all I ask, please. Our friend Ryan Dirks does the web stuff for this show. He's pretty cool. I got to send him an email soon, but thank you, Ryan. And our buddy KC helps with our YouTube stuff, and KC is coming off of the germ. Casey got the germ. He's been laid up here for about 9 days, or he's been quarantined for 2 weeks. But he's been wiped the fuck out, man. No taste, no smell, and can't move, and constant body aches and fever, and it is no fucking joke. But Casey got it, and I think he said his kids are quarantined as well. It's just it's bad, but he's been recovering. But he helps us out with our YouTube stuff. When he's back on his feet, he'll get up there and do it. And that's why if you go to YouTube these past few weeks, we've missed, I think there's like 3 episodes we're down, 3 or 4. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So if I mean, it's cool that we have YouTube. Why did I say that's pretty cool? It's just filler. I'm worried about my buddy KC. I hope he's fine, and I'm glad that he helps. Thank you, KC. And of course, our buddy David, whom you know and trust. Who, hubba. Who do you trust? Well, you trust Mex. Go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and become Mex's pal, his friend, his buddy, his confidant, and have him ride off into the distance with you. You guys can be great friends. At Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez, go ahead and have him on your team. That's a good thing to do. And check out all the artwork that he's done. He's done plenty of paintings, all sorts of artwork for the Westside 86 Jokers, which is my fan club page. He's done it for my particular page. He's also done it for his page, and he's done it for his cult page. This is dumb, that's dumb, you're dumb, I'm dumb. But where you go first is you go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and you become his friend, and then you can go through the artwork in his photos. You'll see he's got it all labeled in folders like a good artist would, I suppose. I don't know. But you can check out all this cool ass stuff that he's done, like I said, for me, for the website, for everything. All sorts of cool stuff. You can check out first of all, look, the club is called This Is Dumb, That's Dumb, You're Dumb, I'm Dumb. And he's renovating it now. He's got big plans going forward. I think he's fired the Lima Bean. I think, possibly. He told that legume to take her fucking shapely ass out the goddamn door, baby. Because it's all about fucking crazy Bikini Betty and her goddamn flaming red bush. So, yeah, go check out the club. This is dumb, that's dumb, you're dumb, I'm dumb. You can try to join it on Facebook, and then he'll send you a note with some questions, and then you answer those questions, and then he lets you into the club. Simple, speakeasy is what I'll say. Not just easy, it's speakeasy. And not only does he do this artwork, not only does he do artwork for me, and he's done artwork for his own self. You know what this man does now? He's got his own podcast. You're goddamn right he does. He's got a podcast called the Phlegmcat Podcast that is available right now. You can go ahead and check it out in the iTunes store as we speak. This is not his Christmas episode, but there are Christmas allusions involved. But he is a Christmas fella, and he's got his big Christmas extravaganza next week. But you want to go download the new episode because he's, you know why? Just because he's our fucking pal. You think I lie to you? You think I would tell you to do something that I shouldn't tell you? No, fuck that. You love it. He's got all sorts of, he's talking about Christmas. He's talking about drugging kids. It's an amazing episode that you should listen to now. Please, it's a holiday month. Give him your holiday time and listen to his Hollywood tales. Hollywood tales. He's David Mex Hernandez, the Phlegmcat Podcast, available in the Apple Podcast space or wherever podcasts are sold. Wherever you get your finer podcasts, go ahead and look, and there you'll see it. That's 2 words. Phlegmcat, PHLEGM. CAT, the Phlegmcat Podcast, available right now in the iTunes store, in the Apple Podcast space, or wherever you find your best podcasts. You will find him leading the way. And he's got all sorts of Christmas music and Christmas songs and Christmas stories. And he's there. He's a regular south of the border Santa for you, our good friend David Mex Hernandez. So go ahead and tune into that podcast right now. Subscribe if you haven't. Download if you would. Leave a review in the iTunes store. Send him a note. Why not? And then he will go ahead and answer that note, and then you will be pen pals. Wouldn't you want to be pen pals? Wouldn't you give your hand to a friend? Wouldn't you be pen pals with your good friend Mex? I think you should. I think he's all of our friends. He's all things to all people. So go ahead and reach out to this gentleman. And I'll tell you what, it's the holiday season. Now, look, there's only a week left before Christmas, so it would be a rush job if he's available, because he's doing very, very busy things as he's trying to catch up on the artwork that he's been commissioned to do by people. But as I said, you can see the artwork that he's done at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez, but you can also see a different style of artwork over on his website. What's that? Yes, absolutely. The man also has a web presence on his very own website. You don't need to find him through the social media sites. He's got his own website. I said, I have MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Well, guess what he has? You're going to want to go and check it out and look at the cool ass artwork that he's got, and then hire him to do something for you in a quick turnaround time for Christmas, or maybe a New Year's painting, or maybe a Washington's birthday painting, or maybe an MLK Jr.'s birthday painting. Whatever you need to hire the man for, he can pull it off. But go to his website and check it out. artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com.
Cancer isn't free, and the challenges don't end when treatment is finished. For cancer survivors in their 20s and 30s, the stacks of medical bills, empty savings accounts, and time away from work can be catastrophic. No one should have to choose between seeing their doctor or keeping the lights on, or make the decision to skip their medication because they need to feed their families. Yet these are the choices that too many young adult cancer survivors make every day, and COVID-19 has added an extra layer of financial stress and uncertainty. The SAM Fund and Expect Miracles Foundation have provided over $2.5 million in grants to young adults across the country, but the need is greater than ever due to the pandemic. Please join us in supporting their efforts by making a donation to Expect Miracles Foundation's SAM Fund program today. To learn more or make a donation, visit thesamfund.org. That's thesamfund.org.
Hey, Louie, could you come over here for a second? I need your help.
All right, what are you doing?
Well, I've been helping Schmitty with ideas for making his podcast even better.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I could, jazz up his theme song by, adding some lyrics to it.
Seriously?
Yeah, so far, so good. The only problem is I keep getting stuck at the bridge. So I was wondering...
All right. Just play me what you got so far, and when you get to the bridge, I'm just gonna jump in with something, okay?
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. The 40-year-old boy, the 40-year-old boy, the 40-year-old boy's about to start.
That's catchy.
The 40-year-old boy, the 40-year-old boy, the 40-year-old boy's about to start.
You know he's gonna say fuck a lot. He will probably mention his cock. He is gonna say literally and drop a royal family. Yeah!
The 40-year-old boy, the 40-year-old boy, the
40...
That's pretty good, Louie. Can I use it?
Oh, go right ahead.
Great. Now I can finish. Just one more thing, though. Do you know anything that rhymes with saddle vag?
Hi, it's comedian Jen Kirkman, and you will love my podcast, No Fun, the Jen Kirkman Podcast. If you don't believe me, don't take my word for it. Here's what the Onion AV Club had to say. What actually makes Jen Kirkman's podcast funny is her inherent knack for cultivating conflict, even talking into a microphone in a room by herself. Kirkman is eternally embattled, but she tempers her cynicism with sweetness, and more often than not, she's right. No Fun, everywhere you get podcasts.
Well, hey there. Did you know that I'm part of the Misfit Toys Podcast Co-op? I am. You can argue with me all you want. You can go ahead and try to go, these are the facts. And I'm going to say, no, these are the facts. And you're going to go, no, these are the facts. And I'm going to go, no, these are the facts. And eventually you'll come around to my way of thinking, as the fellas in Urge Overkill would say, Cato and Nash, or Nash Cato if you're not Tenacious D. I'm in the Misfit Toys Co-op with how many shows? 5 other shows, 5 amazing shows. Let's run them down right now, shall we? There's the Never Not Funny Show. That's a podcast I'm intimately involved with. I'm friends with all of the people on there. Garen Cockrell and Elliot Hochberg, which might be Hochberg, but I think it's Hochberg. I don't know for sure, but I know it's our good friend Elliot. And then, of course, the devastating 1-2 punch of the host, Jimmy Pardo, and the producer, the head honcho, our friend Matt Belknap. That is Never Not Funny. That is the Never Not Funny family. And I consider myself a tenuous connection to the Never Not Funny family. Certainly I was there in the beginning when it was all kicked off, and now I'm brought back occasionally for visits now and then, and it makes me happy to do so. So they're part of the Misfit Toys Co-op. That's the Never Not Funny family. That show is available in iTunes and wherever else you find podcasts. Or you can subscribe at, I think, nevernotfunny.com, or is it pardcast.com? I'm not sure. This is far too much plugging for one fucking show that's not my show, but still it exists. Never Not Funny, part of the Misfit Toys Co-op, along with Doug Loves Movies. And Doug is doing all sorts of Zoom shows that are great and fun. Go check those out as well. That's our friend Doug Benson, in case you were wondering. Our friend Doug Benson, who has the Doug Love Movies podcast, available right now in the iTunes store as well. Also in the iTunes store, it's No Fun with Jen Kirkman. And Jen is answering emails and talking about the pandemic and talking about her life. And, you thought me sitting in a microphone was entertaining. Well, let me tell you something. Jen Kirkman at a microphone. Well, that's a game changer. That's going to turn your world around. It's going to turn the beat around. I'll tell you what, Vicky Sue Robinson loves that podcast. You ought to check it out. Turn the beat around. Love to hear Jen Kirkman. That's what Vicky Sue Robinson will tell you. So go listen to Never Not Funny. Go listen to the Doug Loves Movies show. Go listen to No Fun with Jen Kirkman. Also, let's talk about the Todd Glass show, shall we? Let's talk about a man who is the human embodiment of funny, a man who is a walking laugh track, a man who is just, before I was even doing comedy, when I wanted to do comedy, I saw Todd Glass at the Santa Monica Improv, and I saw him on the beach in his truck with the fake brick wall and everything, and he was tearing down the house, and he's one of the funniest fucking dudes on the planet. Todd Glass is great. Go check out the Todd Glass Show podcast, available in the iTunes store, the Apple Podcast space, whatever you want to look at it as, or where your finer podcasts are available. They're all available where finer podcasts are available, as is the latest addition to the Misfit Toys Co-op. It is Let Me Watch Your Movie With You, hosted by Jonah Ray. Jonah Ray from MST3K, Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Amazon. He's the new Joel. He's the new Mike. And he's the always Jonah, I guess. He's just the Jonah. He's the fucking Jonah, man. Check it out. He's really good on that. But also he's really good on his podcast, Let Me Watch Your Movie With You. Now, here's what I really want. I want Jonah Ray to ask Doug to let him watch his movie with him. Doug loves movies, so why shouldn't he watch a movie with Jonah Ray? And here's another thing I want. I want Jonah Ray to watch basketball with me. Let him watch his movie with me. That's our friend Jonah Ray, so he can get me online to watch some basketball. Yes, there's a phone ringing. Don't think you're crazy. There's a phone ringing through. That's how thin the walls are in my house. You can hear my neighbor's phone ringing, and isn't that grand? Don't you want that to be in a professional podcast? Here I'm telling you about a Misfit Toys Co-op, a group of people that I'm engaged with. Do you think a phone rings on the Todd Glass show? No, not at all. Not unless it's a bit and he answers it. Do you think a phone is ringing on No Fun with Jen Kirkman? No, of course not. She's telling you all the great things she needs to tell you about her life and what's going on in the goddamn world without the obstruction of a goddamn phone ring in the background. I know no phones are ringing on Never Not Funny because Jimmy would kill somebody with a death glare. And perhaps there's phones on Doug Loves Movies. And let me answer your phone with you with Jonah Ray. Maybe we get that podcast rolling. Let me answer your phone with you with our friend Jonah Ray. No, it's called Let Me Watch Your Movie With You with Jonah Ray. No Funny with Jen Kirkman. Todd Glass Show, Doug Loves Movies, and Never Not Funny. All part of the Misfit Toys Co-op along with me. Hi, I'm Mike. And you can go ahead and check out those shows anytime you'd like. That'd be fantastic. They're really, really good. Did you know we have sponsors? Not just Misfit Toy type people that I can tell you about. We've got actual goddamn sponsors of this show. You're damn right we do. It's the Paranoid Strain podcast. Look, you love podcasts already, and you're listening to all the ones from Misfit Toys. Well, clean some space inside your ears to fit the Paranoid Strain podcast hosted by our good friend Fearful Jesuit. He's the best. We love him. He's our good pal. And I can tell you right now, the show that's up now, it's a new show, but not really. It's some material that you're familiar with, but all put together in one gigantic monolith. You thought those monoliths that were appearing and disappearing were crazy. Well, here's a monolith that just appeared in your goddamn iTunes store, and you can listen to it right now. It is a 3.5 hour extravaganza from the Paranoid Strain and our good friend Fearful Jesuit and his good friend Dana Unicorn, who I think would like me if I met her, but I don't think I'm ever going to get that chance. There's no way I'm going to be invited to any more functions for Fearful Jesuit, and certainly not ones where Dana Unicorn's involved, because he fears that I will steal her away and run her over here and put her on my podcast, Sans Lily. So he's going to keep me as far away from Dana Unicorn as he possibly can. But you don't need to be that far away. You can listen to the show. The Paranoid Strain is available right now in the iTunes store. You can download it. You can subscribe to it. You can get all of the episodes, I was going to say issues, get all the episodes and have them in your house and listen to them and think that they're great. You'll love them. As I was saying, the newest one that's up now is a 3.5 hour extravaganza. But what it is, he's put together the entire political run that he just did over the last, I think, 5 episodes, possibly 6 episodes. And he put them all together in this 3.5 hour extravaganza with a 10-minute coda that wraps things up nicely and explains the things you've just heard. So you can listen to this, and it's good companion. It's good appointment listening, I guess I would call it that. I was going to say companion listening. So it's 3.5 hours where you just got great content. You don't need to change the fucking channel or anything. But I'll call it appointment listening. It's appointment listening. So go ahead and dial in to the Paranoid Strain, available right now in the iTunes store, hoped by our good friend Fearful Jesuit. You can write him a note, theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. Get the man on the blower. Tell him what you think about the goddamn show. Tell him you heard it from me. Tell him that if it wasn't for me, that he'd be nothing. Well, maybe we don't go that far. That seems a little strong. But if you leave a review in the iTunes store, mention us. That'd be fantastic. And if you write him a personal note, theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. Please remember to say, hey, you know what? We heard about you through Mike, and we wanted to reach out and tell you how much we love you talking about aliens. What's funny to me is I told you I was, the last episode was about Reagan, and it bummed me the fuck out. You hear the end of it, you're just like, Jesus Christ. So he writes me and he's like, dude, you gotta, we put this new episode out, but you totally have to listen to the last 10 minutes because it totally puts a button on it and it fixes up in a way where I think you're going to feel better about it. And, Fearful Jesuit is absolutely underestimating my capacity for worry and listlessness, and for my dismissal of anything good ever happening in this country again. Because his discussion, he makes some great points and he wraps it up in a great way. And he says, but on the bright side, and he gives you the bright side, which is fantastic. But I, of course, sat here in this chair purchased for me by our good friend Ann the Panda Zill. And I thought to myself, you know what? I can counter your arguments with one word. Will I share that word with you now? No. Yes, I will. Plastics. Enough said. So please go listen to the Paranoid Strain. Download it now in the iTunes store. Give it a listen. Give it a hoot and a holler. And you love it. That's your favorite thing in the world now is the Paranoid Strain podcast. Download it now. Available in the iTunes store, the Apple Podcast space, and then write the man a note and tell him how much you love it and how much you love, by proxy, me, baby, me. Want to hire me for Cameo? Of course you do, ladies and gentlemen. Why wouldn't you hire me for Cameo? I can call you. I can call a friend. It's not even calling. It's more of a fucking message. I make a video and then you look at it and you're like, ha-ha, Mike. And then you just love me from afar. But I'm happy to do it. And with the holidays here, I can ring somebody up and tell them, hey, man, happy Christmas. I can say, rocking around the Christmas tree. It's Mike on Cameo. Rocking around the Christmas tree. Hey, who am I? You don't know. But your cousin does. And he likes my podcast, and he wanted me to tell you Merry Christmas. And then you'll be bummed because it's the worst gift you've ever received. But look at me. I'm participating in that scheme like everybody else. Cameo has big names involved now. So I'm flying under the radar at Cameo before the whole thing gets busted by the U.S. government as some sort of tax shelter scam. But I'm still there. Hire me, please, to go ahead and tell people you love that you love them, tell people you hate that you hate them, or if you really want to fuck with people, tell people you love that you hate them, and tell people you hate that you love them, and do it all through me, baby. I'm your designated mouthpiece for just $20, 15 to me, and 5 to the overlords over there at Cameo. That's bookcameo.com, or get the Cameo app on your phone. You can download it from the iTunes store. Put it on your phone, search for me. Hi, I'm Mike, and I'll do all of the things that you need and want. Oh, that sounds creepy. That sounds like I'm a weird Cameo sex worker. But who knows? Maybe I am. You'll have to book me to find out, won't you? I think you will. What else can I tell you about? Oh, you know what? If you want to do this, if you want to help support the show financially, and God knows you do, I can feel it in my bones. I got to be honest. I can only feel it in one bone. in my radius. I can only feel it in my left radius, but I can feel it right in there. It's throbbing. I can feel my left radius throb because I know you want to help me financially. There's a couple ways to do it. If you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a little button that says donate. It's a little horn boy, and you click on that, and you're whisked away to the magical land of PayPal, where you can go ahead and set up a monthly contribution if you'd like to do something like that, or you can send a one-time donation. That's fine as well, if you'd like to do it. And I will tell you this, nobody's required to help me, nobody's required to support me, but it's always cool if you do, and it'll keep this show rolling, baby, rolling down the river, rolling down the river. Boom, da 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 da. I left a good job in the city, bought a microphone, started a podcast. And if you want to go ahead and keep it going, please support me financially. Like I said, book Cameo.com or the Cameo app on your phone. Also, if you go to the website, PayPal will help you out with a monthly donation or possibly even a one-time donation, a gift, whatever you want to call it is great. But here's the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Patreon exists. What? Yes. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. That's Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. You can go ahead and sign up and become someone who goes ahead and donates to this show every single month and rewards me for doing a podcast and whatever else is coming down the pike. And oh my God, there's so much coming down the pike. You wouldn't believe this pike. This pike is gigantic. It's almost obscene how big this pike is. And wait till you see what's coming down it. But that's happening. And if you want to support the show, go to Patreon.com/Mike40YOB and support the podcast if you would, and then anything else that comes your way. Like our good friend Todd did. Now, Todd, I'll tell you what, I don't know what Todd's doing. I think Todd is, Todd might be a skosh confused because Todd boosted his monthly, and then Todd, he scaled it back down, and then he's boosted it again. And I appreciate Todd for thinking of me. It's fucking amazing that he would do anything like that. The fact that you give me dime one makes me happy. And the fact that you would come in and ratchet it up some for December. I'm assuming that's a Christmas thing or something, or Todd found himself a little flush. I don't know, man. But for him to think of his friend, his podcasting chum, his internet chum, his inner circle pal, ding, his friend Mike, and go ahead and help me out on Patreon, well, that helps me immeasurably. It's going to totally help the show. And if you want to help the show, as I've mentioned, all these different places, let's go. The bottom line, the base of this pyramid is patreon.com/Mike40YOB. And you could help me out financially. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. Keeps this show afloat and keeps me out of debtor's prison, where they feed you crusts of bread and rat tails and cricket chirps. Oh, you ever had a big bowl of cricket chirps? That's delicious eating. Especially when you're behind bars with a fucking Rasputin beard. Oh, that's the best time to eat cricket chirps. When you haven't been able to shave your facial hair. You got a big ass mustache. It's like a soup strainer. Oh my God, you look great. You look like Howard Hughes. You're pissing in jars. You're collecting your toenails. You're eating cricket chirps. It's a wonderful life. So please think of me, if you will. I'd appreciate it very much. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. I've got channels. Did you know this? Not only do I have this channel, which is a broadcast channel. Tune in Tokyo. Attention, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. This is my own radio station. This podcast is essentially my own radio station. Well, I also have, what's that? I have a streaming service, I guess you'd call it, or a television station archive in YouTube. What? Yes, that exists. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/the40-year-old boy. If you go over there and follow that channel, who knows what's coming your way. I can tell you this, I'm starting to post some more Twitch stuff over there, some Twitch streams that you can go ahead and check out and watch at your leisure, if you will. See me having the yap and talking to people, playing some games, or just eating a weird chip. Whatever happens. They say whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, whatever happens on Twitch winds up at YouTube. Eventually, I go ahead and I update the goddamn thing, and everybody's like, look at this. It's awesome. It's a one-stop shop for Mike's past. Yes, but if you'd like to be part of Mike's present and or Mike's future, here's what you do. Why am I third personing the fuck out of myself? That makes no sense. Don't third person yourself. I have a broadcast station where you can watch me live. That's right. Twitch.tv/the40-year-old boy. Twitch.tv/the40-year-old boy. And I'm constantly on there streaming. I'm playing games. Like I said, I'm talking to people. I'm engaging the stream. I'm exploring the space with a cowbell, not unlike Gene. Come on, Gene. And of course, I'm on there playing games and saying things to you and saying hello and saying your name if you're in the stream and talking to you directly. It's fun. It's a good place to be. We've got a pretty nice little, we got camaraderie. We've got a nice little core group of people who come in there all the goddamn time, and they know one another, and it's really fun. And you can watch me playing games. I've been playing, we play puzzles. Sometimes those are games you can actually participate in. I think next Monday, I'm going to start playing Ghosts of whatever the fuck again. Well, Ghosts of Tsushima, I think it's called. But I was calling it Ghosts of whatever the fuck because I could never remember the name. But now I do. And I want to play it. It was a lush game. It was a beautiful game. And it was a challenging game. It was exciting. It was Japan. It was swordsman. It was me going off and fucking dudes up with a katana. And I think I need more of that in my life. Hell, we all need that in our life. So I'm going to play some Ghosts of Tsushima starting on Monday, start streaming that. No, not on Monday, Tuesday, because Monday I have to attend a virtual Christmas party that you guys are not invited to. That's right. It's for big shots. And I'm working the Zoom door. I'm the bouncer on Zoom, and the big shots have to get through me to go ahead and enjoy themselves at this party. So I won't be streaming on Monday. Maybe I'll go on early. I don't know. Because my party's at like 5 my time or something like that, or 5:30. I don't remember. I got to check. I got the invitation. It's written on a surgical mask. That's fun. And what else? Oh, so go ahead and check out twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy, twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. You'll see me streaming all the goddamn time. After January 1st, we're really ratcheting up the schedule. We're going to be probably doing 5 nights a week, probably doing like 3-4 hours a day. It's time to kick that into overdrive as well and have a plan. All sorts of, look, I've got plans in real life. I've got a list. I got plans, and now we're going to have a Twitch plan. It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. So go ahead and subscribe or follow at twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. You know, you can use your Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe every month, and it gives me $5 and it costs you nothing. It's right out of Bezos' pocket. Let's bankrupt that bald bitch. What do you say, huh? That guy who cut me off from my affiliate program in the middle of a pandemic. Thanks, dude. But you can go to twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. Now, I will tell you this. Normally, I'm on there streaming video games, or I'm talking, or I'm eating strange potato chips, or weird. This week, I ate Kit Kats from Japan, including one butter-flavored Kit Kat from Japan, and one strawberry maple, and one pistachio raspberry. Funky flavors were the order of the day. I ate a yuzu Kit Kat. It was delicious. But nothing will top the butter Kit Kat because it just tasted like butter. It was kind of amazing. So anyway, you can see me doing all of those things. I'll eat weird chips. People sent me Japanese snacks. I ate some corn puffs this week. One of them tasted like a beef tongue. God damn, it was fun. Now, will that be on YouTube eventually? Yes. Is it also on Twitch? Of course. But I will tell you this. Here's the big thing. This is coming out on Friday morning, this podcast. It'll be out tomorrow morning, which is, the 18th. If by chance you hear this podcast and you're up to this point already and you're thinking to yourself, holy fuck, I need more mic. Friday night, 5:00 p.m. Pacific time, December 18th, on Twitch at twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. It'll be the 3rd annual 40-year-old-boy Christmas party on Twitch. There will be cookies. There will be hot chocolate. There may be pumpkin pie. There will be a Santa hat. I don't know if there will be carols. I don't know if I'll be reading a Christmas story, any sort of a chunk. Because again, I feel weird just reading to people. That seems ridiculous. But I will be engaging with the stream, and I will be opening gifts from people in the stream. People have been very kind and sent me gifts to my P.O. box, or sent me things to my apartment, actually, with the pandemic. And I have, once again, a ridiculous amount of things to open because people are so kind and so generous, and they make me very happy that they would think of me. So I'm very excited to open these things. It's going to be fun and very cool. And I can't thank you enough, everybody who has stepped up. All of the regulars who come there to Twitch and they send me stuff. People on Twitter reached out and said, hey, what's the P.O. box? Everybody's super cool to think of me. And I do appreciate that very much. And I actually, it's funny. So that's today, Friday, December 18th. At 5:00 p.m. If somehow you finish this podcast and think, you know what, I got to go fucking check this dude out, twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. I'll be streaming live at 5:00 p.m. Pacific time. That's Los Angeles time, where I'll be opening gifts and having a Christmas party and drinking far too much hot chocolate. But I can't wait. I'm excited for it. And I hope you are too. Go ahead and join me if you want. And if you're hearing this after the fact, you can actually see the rerun, probably on YouTube or on Twitch itself. We'll save the stream. You can go back and watch me unboxing things and opening gifts and just having the best of times. I actually went, like I said, with the pandemic, people have been sending it to my house, but I had to go to the post office. I have to go actually tomorrow too, like in the afternoon before the stream. But I had to go to the post office I went Wednesday. yesterday just to make sure that I was going to get some stuff, right? Because I didn't want to, in case there was because last year I went just before the stream and I had to make 2 trips out of the post office to my car. I felt like a fucking shitbag. I'm like, oh, I made the guy watch my packages, whatever. Because here's the thing, the post office is busy. And this year was no different. So I go in Wednesday to get a fucking package. And again, it's even weirder now with the fucking pandemic. We all know the post office is beleaguered. You know, the current administration tried to shut them the fuck down. They slashed their workforces. They changed the sorting, whatever I don't know. I've read articles that said bad things were happening, and now those chickens are coming home to roost after the mail-in ballots were counted. Well, now it's slowed down to a fucking sludge-filled crawl because all these changes have been implemented for the past 3 months, and now guys have been overworked, and post office sorting centers are just fucking hammered, and so now they're saying that a lot of stuff that's been sent is getting delayed. And I mean, I can't get mad at post office people. I can't. I have been, certainly, go by year 4 or whatever the fuck. But I've changed in the last 5 years where I try to adjust my thing because it's like, it's not this person's fault. It's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. But still, you go to the post office, and I've been almost in fights in the post office. You know this. I mean, I told you this in a parking lot of the post office. I freaked out a fucking lady in a post office. One time I was headbutting a door. I mean, I'm not a smart person sometimes, but I've changed. I've gone ahead and gotten ahead of this. I've gotten way ahead of this issue. So I went to pick up some packages yesterday, which was Wednesday, and I get there, and you got to wear a mask. So but it was a good start. I got a parking spot right outside the post office. I walked inside, and of course you walk inside, and it's this teeming mass of humanity. I mean, there's got to be 19 people in line. I mean, it's super long. It's long to the point where it starts kind of by the windows, and then it goes down, and then it fish hooks to the right and back toward the entrance. So it looks like a capital J, all right? So I walk in, and I go to my P.O. box because, sometimes what they do is there'll just be keys for bigger P.O. boxes, and that's where they've stuffed all your gifts. So in my head, I was like, please let there only be keys. Please, let there be keys. I open up the thing, and there's keys. There's a key to one big P.O. box locker, but then there's slips. There's 3 separate slips that you hand. What that means is basically you have to wait in line. And you have to get to the window, and then they got to go fetch your stuff from the back. Now, do I think there should be one guy just in charge of going to get stuff in the back while other people work the windows? I do. But the post office is woefully unmanned, and it's not their fault, and things have been turned upside down there these days. And even on their best days, people were mad at them. But now people are really stewing because they're not getting their stuff on time, and then they blame the post office dudes. And I mean, what the fuck, man? Just get off everybody's back, especially now. Like, you can't be mad at delivery dudes. You can't be mad at restaurant guys. Did I get mad at my Chinese guys? I did, yes. We talked about this. And don't think I won't pick their brains on the pan-fried crispy noodle next time I see those motherfuckers. But I went to the post office, and again, I'm in a light mood. It's Christmas, and I'm picking up gifts. It's not like I'm picking up a bomb, so I'm thrilled. I go get the stuff out of the P.O. box. I walk over. I get at the end of the capital J. And there's the, please maintain 6 feet of distance, which is fine. We're all maintaining about 4 feet of distance because otherwise people will be out the door. And I don't want to be the police. That's another thing, man. Everybody's wearing masks, which is a delight. But it's this thing where you're like, all right, could you guys just stop being cunts, like, and stop being so close to one another? And I don't want to be that guy. We're all in line. It's Christmas time, and so we're just gonna get our packages. So I get at the end of the capital J. And there was, I should say this, when I went to get at the end of the capital J, there was a gentleman in OR scrubs, and he kind of, he was meandering a little bit, and it was like he was trying to find out where the line was. Well, I was walking up as he was, and then I got in line. And then he kind of shrugged, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess this is the line. And he went to get behind me, and I said, oh, no, please go in front of me. And he said, no, of course, you were ahead of me. I said, no, please, I saw you looking. I go, and you were ahead of me. Please go ahead. And he's like, wow, thank you. And because you know what, it doesn't hurt to be nice. Pay it forward, folks. If greeting cards and bullshit slogans have taught you anything, it's pay it forward. So I was like, just being nice. Because again, it's like, you know what? We're all in the post office. We're all going to stand there for fucking 20 minutes and wait to get for our fucking gifts. There's no reason to be mad at anybody. a woman had come in and she's got a box that's probably about, I would say it's about 3.5 feet tall. So it's about to her waist. Okay. She's probably what, 5'8"? So maybe 4 feet tall, this fucking package. I don't know. If you put it on the ground, it's up to her goddamn waist. So she's ahead of me in line. So, I'm in line. There's a guy behind me. He wants to make some small talk about Native Americans because I'm wearing my Blackhawks hoodie. And he's like, what's that logo? And I said, well, it's Chicago Blackhawks. He goes, no, the one on the back, like the C. I go, with the Tomahawks, it's a secondary logo. It means Chicago. It goes on their sleeves. And he said, oh, and then he's like, well, did you know that the Hopi Indians? And I mean, oh boy, here we go. We're off to the goddamn races. Me and this white dude, all of a sudden he knows everything about the Comanches, and he starts telling me. And I will tell you this, it was very interesting. I allowed him to talk. I wasn't going to shut him down. Fuck you, Indian Joe. No, I listened to his wonderful anecdotes because clearly this was a field of study or something he cared about because he had a lot of facts. And so he and I are he's making small talk. I'm doing a lot of nodding and a lot of this. Whoa, wow, seriously. Oh man, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Wow. And then I said, he's still telling me more about Native Americans. I go, well, I'll tell you, the extending of my knowledge of Native Americans is in the novel Blood Meridian, from Cormac McCarthy. I said, because in there, there's some very, very savage battles between, and he goes, oh yes, that's what the way it was. Of course, the Native Americans were very savage. People don't understand. They were the most intense cavalry in the world. They had double repeating rifles and the Americans didn't have anything. Our cavalry. And I'm like, oh yes, God forbid I get in 7 words. Why I wanted to discuss a book. Maybe you knew a book that I knew instead of you now giving this impromptu lesson about Native Americans. We could have talked about a book, but no, you've seized the day again and stepped up to take the reins on this conversation. And again, like I said, I'm not mad, but I did chuckle to myself because it's like, oh, okay. Oh, so I'm not getting to offer any information. Cool. Please continue to educate me about the people who were here before me. So he's talking, and I'm listening, and we're moving up, and then the woman with the giant package gets to the window. She's about 8 people in front of me. And as she gets to the window, she walks up and she lifts it up and puts it on the counter. And now they've got it all tricked out with plastic shields. They got to move stuff over, slide it over, grab it, move it here. So they do this, and she puts it up there. And you're kind of in between me hearing about the history of Cochise, I'm catching bits and pieces of this person. I got to hear about fucking Running Bear or whatever the fuck, who loved Little White Dog. And then he's, or White Dove, not White Dog. Running Bear loved White Dove, not White Dog. It was the White Dogs who came and they couldn't see past the billfold. So this woman puts her box up and they're talking about it, a little negotiating. And the dude behind the counter is clearly not Captain Post Office. Like he's punching buttons. He's got questions and he's doing his best to get through it. And it was this thing where he measures it. He measured it. He put it on the scale. He flipped it over to put it on the scale again. Then he measured it from the side. And in my head, it looked like a lot of busy work that didn't really matter. I mean, it's a fucking box. You know what I mean? I don't know if they've ever charged by height, but maybe they do now. I don't know. Again, they fucked the whole post office up. Who knows? So he's measuring it and he puts it on the scale and he moves it over here and he kind of like puts his arm by it. He looks like a dude who's just faking his way through his first day on the goddamn job. And then fucking, behind me, I've got Boston Tea Party rampaging, and then I'm listening to that. But then over here, she's trying to, and then I heard the guy say, okay. And he prints out the fucking ticket. What's the zip code, the address? He gets the label. He's okay. And he goes, it's going to be $60. And she acts like someone told her child had been kidnapped. She's like, what? And to the point where people were startled, because we're all just kind of in there getting our business taken care of. And he goes, and he says something, and then she goes, oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And he's just kind of like, why? Okay, I don't know what to tell you. And she goes, that's not, I said I didn't want it first class. He's like, well, no, this is the rate that you asked for. And she goes, well, can it get any lower than that? And he said, well, no, this is kind of the rate. I mean, it is, and she goes, oh, I'm not going to send this. I'm not going to send this. Give me it back. Give me it back, which I love. I love that decision in the moment because I've made that decision in the moment where you thoroughly in front of everybody just take a goddamn hacksaw to your own nose and grind it off and throw it on the floor. and stomp out like a child. And then you grab your giant box. I'm never going to pay $60. That's ridiculous. $60. Why? I would never. Give me that box back. Give it to me now. I'll take it. Oh, I can't believe this. She takes the box and she walks outside. And I guarantee you, because I've been her, not on a chariot, been her, but I've been her. And I guarantee you she got outside with the box. And she stopped on the steps of the post office and went, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, man, what the fuck am I doing? How stupid am I? I just waited in line for 25 minutes. Who do I think I'm going to drive this to fucking Nebraska? No, I'm not. Do I think I'm going to shuttle this off to Connecticut? No, I can't bring it myself. And that's when it dawns on you that the post office is a fucking miracle. The very fact that they'll take your shit in California and send your shit to Maine for $4 or $8 or $60, depending on how big the fucking package is a goddamn, it's a heavenly song. It's when you start taking shit like that for granted. We've talked about it before with air travel. You know, it's like people get all grumpy and shitty and mean on the plane. I have too. I'm not going to say I haven't, but if you really think about it again, you're jetting through the fucking air. Like Superman. You're literally Superman, but you're encased in metal. And you're just flying through the air to go to a fucking place that used to take 9 days by horse. And you're going to be there in fucking 3.5 hours. And not only that, you get a ginger ale to fucking top it all off. But this woman, man, I know because I've done it. I've been there. She took that box, schlepped it back outside, got on the stairs, and I guarantee you, she hung her head and went, that was fucking stupid. Because I just waited in line 25 minutes. And now I'm going to have to wait in line 25 more minutes, either here or at another post office, but I can't go back in because I got to save face. If I go crawling back in there now, they're going to think I'm a fucking idiot. Without realizing that we all know you're an idiot because you literally went, oh, I'm not going to send this. I'm not going to send this then if it's that much money. Because, again, what are you going to do? You think there's a black market package delivering guy? Meet a guy in the corner. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? You see that box? You want me to take it somewhere? Hey, you like that box? That's a big box. What's that, 3.5 feet? It's about waist high on you. I know you don't want to be taken across the country, but I tell you what, me and Vito, we got a van, see? Why don't you slip me, I bet that costs $60 at the post office. Why don't you, I tell you what, you hand us each $20, we go 40, boom, we take this goddamn thing cross country. I don't know when it's going to get there, but it's going to get there, I promise. Look at his van. Have you ever seen a more beautiful van for carrying a box from a stranger? I don't think you have. Because, you're not going to black market this shit. You got to send it to the post office. Unless you think you're going to go to UPS or FedEx and save money there, which I guess you could try. But then, maybe, here's the thing. Here's what I say to you, ma'am. Maybe, just maybe, you don't try to ship a fucking hotel refrigerator. It's that big. It's a square fucking, it looked like a Minecraft box. It's huge. And she's sending that, and she's pissed about how much it cost. But I laughed because she carried it outside, and I guarantee you, I knew it. The second the harsh sun hits you in the face and the breeze lights up your cheeks, you just go, oh, man, I'm stupid. I just wasted a half hour, and it's not like I can give this to anybody else. So I wish I would have been there the day she schlepped it back in. She had to go to a different post office because no way you would show ass and then come back into that fucking joint. So she splits. And it's that kind of thing where you exchange the knowing glances, the guy in the scrubs in front and ahead of me. We're just kind of like, all right, man. So as we're standing in line, a woman comes in, and look, here's how I'm going to describe her, and I'm going to say this in the nicest of ways, certainly. This is a lady who, she was dressed in what the parlance would be, what I would say that the kids today would call a hoochie mama. She was wearing a onesie that with no sleeves and came up to the crease in her thigh where your leg meets your hips. It was like a swimsuit. It looked like a one-piece swimsuit, but it was clearly a onesie because of the fabric it was made out of. No bra, and the wind was doing its job. And she saunters in, and I will say this, and again, I don't say this with any sort of malice. Big girl, all right. It looked like, it may have been big enough to have climbed out of the box that other woman was trying to ship. She was square and round at the same time. You ever see anybody like that? Where they're just like a block, but also round. It's like a block in a barrel. That's what she looked like. She's a big girl. So, and walks in, her nipples walked in about 30 seconds before her, and then she comes in and she's holding a gift wrap box, a gift wrapped box with a bow on it, wrapping paper. And the capital J is in full effect. The fish hook is there, and we're all in line and we're waiting. And I've got about 6 people ahead of me now at this point. She walks in and she kind of wanders around the post office for a while, almost in a, hey, everybody, look at me type of way. But also she had the air of someone who thought she may have been alone in the building. Like she took notice of nobody else. She literally walked around on her phone texting, took a couple of laps holding this gift. And not making any progress in any way, to the point where you would think to yourself, maybe that's a bomb. I don't know what she's doing. But she walked and then she put her head up and she looked over and she's walking and she's looking. And I think she was high as fuck. That didn't help. She's fucking high as balls and she's walking around. And again, everybody takes a look. Everybody takes a glance at her. Now I should tell you this. We have the capital J, right? But also there's now an arrow intersecting the capital J because we're in line to go to the windows, but there's also those automatic machines. So now there's a line for that goes back that forms its own 7. So that's a 7 that's intersecting the capital J. And she is just walking around through all of it like she's running her own personal maypole. She's just ducking in and out of people. She's weaving. But also she's not like saying, excuse me, and she's not doing anything where she's like, pardon me. She's just walking like in a daze. And then as we're in line, she walks up to the guy who, again, it had to be his first day on the gig, and the guy who measured the box. Someone finished with him, and she walked up to the window. And she starts talking to him, and everybody's letting her, and he's answering her questions, and then she's like, oh, okay, and she's talking, and she says, well, I don't know what to do. I need a box, I think, or whatever I need. He goes, okay, and she goes, well, can you give me a box? He goes, well, there's boxes on the shelves. She goes, I looked, I didn't think those were any good. I need a bigger box, and so he's like, oh, okay, and he's easily manipulated, and he goes, okay, and he's got a box back there, and he pulls it, and it's not built. If you've ever gone to the post office, it's all smushed, it's flat. And she goes, oh, well, can you give me one that's not flat? And he goes, well, no, you have to, this is it. And she goes, oh, okay, well, I need to put it together. Can you put it together? And the guy goes, no, you need to take your stuff and go over there and put it together. And she goes, oh, okay, well, how do I do that? And now the capital J is starting to get a little shifty. We're all kind of exchanging glances at one another and just kind of nodding and just kind of smirking. But she clearly doesn't give a fuck that there's anybody else in the building or that there's any sort of line or semblance of order, because she's like, oh, can you build the box for me? And the guy says, no, I can't. You need to take it over there. And okay, well, how do I do it? What do you mean? How do I do it? Well, I don't know how do I do a box? And he's, well, you got to tape it up. She goes, well, where's the tape? And he goes, well, you can buy a roll of tape. She goes, no. Don't you have any tape I can use? And the guy and the woman who's working at the post office next to the new guy leans over and just goes, here, and hands her a tape gun, like a roller. She goes, okay. And then she goes, oh, I think I need a address label. The guy goes, well, you have to go over there and build the box, and then we'll help you with the label once you get in line. And she goes, okay, well, here, just give me that one right there. And the guy does. He gives her a label, and she takes a pen, and she starts filling out the label. She has a flat box. She's got a tape roller, and now she's filling out the label at the window. She is completely usurped the line. She has stepped to the front. And as I've mentioned, the number 7 is still moving because people are using the machines. But the capital J, there's some consternation in the capital J because we don't understand what the fuck is going on, quite frankly. And I'm trying not to get mad. I don't want to get upset. And everybody's kind of still jovial, but also looking at one another like, because I will say this. It wasn't really a hostile takeover. It was just this sort of move where she just started doing it, and the guy was letting her. he kept humoring her. He gave her the label. He said, he did say a couple times, you need to go over there. You need to build the box. Well, I don't know how to do that. So here, just give me the label. I'll fill it out. And I don't know if you can help me with the box, if you could do that. And she's looking at her phone and she's filling out the label. And I look at OR Scrubs. And he looks at me and just kind of shrugs. And then I look at fucking Native American knowledge, and he looks at me and he's just kind of like, I don't get it. And the rest of the capital J is kind of like steaming because they're way at the back. Because now I'm 4 people away from a window, or 3 people, I think. And but she's hogging one of the windows. There's only 3 windows open. She's hogging one of them, and she's filling out the label. She's looking at her phone, and I'm in line, and look. You know me, and I shouldn't be this guy, and I'm usually not. Well, that's a lie. I used to be this guy all the time, but I finally decide that if the fucking post office is going to fucking do a goddamn thing about it, and the rest of the capital J is going to be silent, I am going to step up for the capital J. And she leans over. She's filling out the label. She's saying, "Oh, can you help me build the box?" And, well, where's the tape? But I don't know how to do it and that stuff. And I'm behind her, and I'm not a bully. But at the same time, someone has to say something because nobody else will. And so I just go, "Hey, kiddo, there's a line." With a little bit of bass in my voice. Nothing major. But she heard me because everybody else in the capital J heard me and kind of nodded like, finally, somebody fucking stepped up. And even the other post office lady caught a glance of me and just kind of like nodded. And but the other guy who's clueless, and again, not his fault, because I'm sure they've pressed a lot of people into duty during this holiday season who aren't used to dealing with the public. And he was a pushover, and he's still, and he's trying to deal with, and I like I said, I went, "Hey, kiddo, there's a line." And everybody in the place, the J, the post office people, they heard me. She didn't. Or at least she wanted to pretend that she didn't. And she kept looking at her phone and she kept filling out the label, and then she took the box and then she had the tape, and about another 15 seconds go by and I look at the engine guy like, I'm like, "Hey man, you heard me, right?" And he kind of like shrugs, and I look at OR Scrubs and he just fucking shakes his head because now he's disgusted. And again, the post office people aren't saying anything. And then finally I just go, "There's a line!" That loud, like yelled it. Now, normally, again, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the post office cop. But I mean, it was that thing where you heard it echo off of the rafters. I let it go, man. It wasn't that one wasn't angry, but it was just this exasperated, "There's a line." And she didn't fucking move. She didn't even turn her head. She kept filling out the label. The only good thing was the rest of the capital J now, who are sharpening punji sticks and waiting to send this woman to a Christmas-based death, didn't have to spring themselves into action because the post office people could finally see. Well, I mean, they saw, the one woman did. And so she understood once I yelled, "There's a line," because people like jumped. She looks at this woman. She goes, "You have to go. You have to leave this window." And the woman goes, "Well, I'm almost done." She goes, you must go. And you need to buy a roll of tape. "Well, I have the tape." No. And she takes the tape roller away. She goes, "You need to buy a roll of tape and you need to get in line like everybody else." "Well, I don't know what to do with this box." And she goes, "Listen, I'm going to tell you one more time. You have to get back in the line. And you have to grab some tape to buy some tape, and you have to build this box. You have to just do this, but you have to leave this. You didn't wait in line like everybody else." And and I tell you what, she wasn't mad. She didn't freak out. She just was like, looks at her phone, grabs the flat box and her gift, and then just goes over to the table to do whatever the fuck she was going to do, to not build a box, I guess. And I mean, what a fucking lesson to see that again in front of my eyes. Because I mean, like I said, I've tried not to get angry at people like that. I've seen this kind of stuff unfolding all the fucking time, and I see these people just fucking doing whatever the fuck they want. But the fact that she just, by osmosis, cut in the line, started to convince that dude that she should be there. She's got, please, and she's like, "Hey, why don't you build that box for me? How don't you do this?" And just, and because again, like I said, She was dressed like a woman who was probably used to using her body to get what she wanted, and it just seemed like she also was not affected by anybody telling her that there were other people in the world. Hey, there's other people here who have other things that they have to do, and they're not wearing onesies, and nobody else has poked an eye out with a goddamn nipple, and don't expect the fucking world to stop because you come in here in your fucking ridiculous outfit and sashay around and think everybody's gonna fucking let you do whatever the fuck you want. Fucking OR Scrubs is staring at me. I'm just laughing, and fucking the guy behind me, we couldn't believe it. The rest of the capital J too. And I look back and they all kind of like nodded at me like, yeah, you were deputized and you fucking stepped up and you got her away from the goddamn counter. But I wanted to say to them, it wasn't me who got her away from the counter. It was this fucking hero who works for the post office who fucking looked at her and took away the fucking tape roller and goes, no, you know what? Because I'll tell you what, again, they probably would have helped her if she had waited in line and come up with all that fucking build a package bullshit. But instead she's like, oh, give me a box, give me a label, give me tape, do this. I don't know how to do it. Can you build a box for me? Fuck your helpless nonsense. Either do this shit or don't, but get the fuck out of the way, because OR Scrubs has got to go back and save lives, and Injun Joe's got to go back and tell a fucking story about Geronimo to his cousin, and I got to pick up some goddamn gifts from my friends because I got to